Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's unbelievable, unprecedented primetime gaming with Mr. Boomstick and friends. I am your host, of course, Mr. Boomstick XL, and we have an action-packed show for you. I don't know if we're going to break numbers like we broke earlier on the impromptu show I did this afternoon with a cast of characters that completely knocked it out of the park, where we crossed 2,000 people in the chat. I mean, that is RDX type numbers, and I cannot thank everyone who came in and hung out. But we are going to be bringing you all of the news from today. We're going to be talking about the pre-order nightmare that could potentially happen for tomorrow. You know, obviously we want to be, positive, but we also have to be real about some of the news coming out of Xbox land regarding, at least for GameStop, only getting anywhere between 8 and 12 units per store, which is concerning if you really want one of these. You may be tasked to do online. And I think that is probably where most of their allocations are going to go to because, obviously it is Corona still, and C-19 is still a real thing. But let's get into this unbelievable panel. As you can see, it's stacked. So we're going to get into that, and then we're going to get right into the topics. We're going to start with some of our regular panel members, and obviously we're going to start with Tempest's son, who changed his icon to not only one of his favorite movies, but it depicts the Master Chief right along with the Doom guy, and for good reason. Tempest's son, welcome to the show, my brother.
Hey, man. I think we just witnessed one of the biggest things ever in gaming. Absolutely nobody saw this coming. And to celebrate, one of my favorite movies, Step Brothers, and they are Step Brothers, Master Chief and Doom Guy. It's amazing. The implications are boundless. So let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely got to do this. But first, before we do that, I want to just catch up on some of the super chats. I said thank you to in the private chat to some people. One of the super chats that came in before the show even went live is from a very extremely generous friend of the show, Master Clown X3 drops an outstanding, an unbelievable $100 super chat. My God, Mr. Clowns, thank you so much for his name, Master Clowns, I should say, for your absolute unbelievable generosity. We have Al's Shameen drops an outstanding $5 super chat. He says, congrats on hitting over 1,000 viewers earlier today. I was one of the 2K, or was it 2K? No, it was 2K that we broke. Either way, it was a huge deal. Well, thank you so much for that. And Master Clowns actually said, great shows, loving the content, Mr. Boom. Well, thank you, dude. Super appreciate the compliment, and more importantly, the generosity, and of course, the unbelievable support. We also have one that came in from a very good friend of the show, Army Veteran, just an outstanding $5 super chat, and says, sitting out here in the rain at GameStop reminds me of guard duty in the Army. Oh my God, dude. So you're going to spend out, you're going to basically stay over the night. That's that
might be the best move to get one.
Yeah, indeed, it might be. But you know what? Let's continue, of course, with the introductions, and then we're going to get into the show. We're going to start with Gaming Forte. You jumped in on. Thank you so much for being here. I know that you have been a busy man with your phone ringing. You obviously are going to be at GameStop bright and early to set up people for this. For the reserve tomorrow morning. I don't know when in your time zone it's going to be, but here
11 a.m.
11 a.m. Here in the East Coast is going to be 11 a.m. as well. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the show, dude. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Just, trying to balance how this is going to play itself out tomorrow to the point where your boy might have to take an L and not get his X pre-order tomorrow.
Yikes, dude.
The allocation is too low, man. It's like the same thing I said. If you guys haven't checked out my video, I talked about how the whole pre-order thing with PlayStation went down today, plus how Nvidia handled it. And it kind of sucks that a lot of people, especially when it came to that 3080, went to like brick and mortar stores to get it, but they were already accounted for because associates bought them before, the store even opened. But our allocation on these things are so low. Call your GameStop, they'll tell you what theirs is. It's not a secret. it's like it kind of sucks because I want to get one of these things, but I know I'll have a better opportunity getting it myself on the outside after this day than some of these people that are going to be lining up in my store trying to get it, tomorrow. So I may not, I won't be pre-ordering my system tomorrow because there's just not enough allocation out there to take care of people that really, truly want it.
Yeah, that's again, questions are. It's fact, it's going to be the first topic we cover. I know that everybody wants to talk about the Bethesda ZeniMax thing, and we're going to probably spend at least 90 minutes on that. But we do have to discuss this openly about what's going on with the Microsoft pre-orders, and it makes you wonder, maybe launching in 36 countries during a COVID era, it might have been overreaching. Some people might suggest, but we're going to break it down in a proper manner while still keeping with the celebration. Next up, you know him as our voice for four guys with quarters, who has been making some noise himself. Clowns, welcome to the show, dude.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me. It's going to be such a good night. Boom. Yeah. Such a good night.
Yes, well, listen, you can tell Clowns is excited because he's normally reserved, and he has been busting at the seams since before we even started the show in the private chat. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You might hear Clowns in a way you've never heard him before. Next up, our resident Cape Crusader that will be on the hunt for an Xbox Series X tomorrow. Hopefully, he, along with anyone who wants one, will be able to attain it. Cybernox, welcome to the show.
What's going on, Boom? I'm with Clowns, man. I am excited. After today. We got amazing news. We got Cotton and Noof here in the panel. We got our primetime gaming original brothers here too. It's gonna be fantastic. Boom hit RDX numbers earlier, people. Let's give it a round of applause. I'm just excited, man. Overall, great day. Let's get it going.
Yeah, it was quite shocking, to be honest with you. We also have a couple of super chats that have come in. Mighty Ryan, a good friend of the show, drops an outstanding $5 super chat. Says, round 2, baby. Let's go. Can't wait to get my pre-order Series X tomorrow. And listen, dude, let the gaming god forces be with you, because I hope that we don't have a lot of horror stories. And I hope that Microsoft immediately restocks the ability to pre-order these. I just want to know what Amazon is getting, because obviously they're big. We want to know what the Walmarts and the Best Buys and the Targets are getting, and are they as low or because they're bigger stores than GameStop? Who knows? I am going to say, and again, we'll get into it in a second, what I've heard about the allocations. But next up, let's go to, of course, Mag, middle-aged gamer guy. Welcome to the show, brother. I know that you have been raring to go since 9 o'clock this morning.
Well, good evening, Boom. Good evening, chat, and good evening, panel. My name's Billy Butcher, speaking on behalf of the Mag. And tonight's cracking show has a bunch of topics that are nothing short of diabolical. So do yourself a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, or I'm going to find you and I'm going to crack your skull.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you so much. Guys, I am so excited to be here. I am exploding at the seams after what I woke up to this morning. I can't believe the news. I have been floating on air since, and I've just been itching to get on the air. So we got a great show for you guys tonight. So let's get right into it.
Well, you know what? Before we do, I have to ask one favor, Mr. Mag. Could you potentially call anyone that are saying that this was a bad move for the industry a cunt in Billy's voice, please?
Someone just got demonetized.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Let me tell you something, Huey. There's two types of people in this world. There's cunts and there's twats. And the kind of people who are saying that this is a bad move is nothing but a cunt. All right? So get in the car.
And there you go, folks. Let me tell you
not
something.
A Spice Girl.
Yes, there you go. See you next Tuesday, as as my wife likes to say when saying that. Let's continue, of course, with the introduction of our special guests and rounding out the outstanding panel that's going to bring 2+ hours of real intense discussion regarding what happened today, and of course the pre-order potential nightmare that's going to be happening tomorrow. We'll start with Noof Nukem. Noof, welcome to the show, brother. I know that you're feeling under the weather earlier, but the fact that you're still here is really big of you, and we're glad to have you.
I couldn't wait to be here. Xbox, rah, rah, rah. They got Bethesda. and they're gonna kick your butt. Screw that one up, but that's all right. Maybe I'll bring Arnold on a little bit later. Maybe he'll have 2 cents worth. But anyway, man, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a great show. Congratulations on the numbers this morning. I really wish I could have been there. I was in the chat, obviously. I was listening to all the
I know, I
feedback.
saw you, brother.
It was dynamite. Man, it's going to be a good time. Like I said, that was crazy news. Nobody expected it. Took us all by surprise. Of course, depending on which way you look at it, it's great news. Some other people think it's bad, but we're going to get right into that, aren't we?
Well, thank you again for being here, even though you're a little bit under the weather. And certainly last and no way least, our very good friend who has been making the rounds on lots of my podcasts and enjoys not only talking with us, but talking with the community. Cotton McGast, welcome to the show, dude.
Appreciate you having me on, man. What a crazy day. I'm so stoked. I was listening to your show earlier today when you hit those crazy numbers while I was at work, telling everybody I was working with all about the news. Half the people didn't even believe me.
Yeah.
And it's huge, man. Everything that's been going on recently with gaming is it's great for gamers. And always, of course, love to be back on the show. Hard to compete with special guests like Arnold and Butcher, but anytime I can get on, I'll be here.
Well, definitely appreciate you being here for sure. 2 more super chats came in. Bounty Boom, a very generous friend of the show, drops an outstanding $2 super chat. Says, can't wait for all them games to come to Game Pass. And that is a great point. There's going to be a ton of games. And you know what? We're going to talk about the 23 studios. I'm going to bring it up so you guys can see it. Because, obviously a picture is worth 1,000 words. And when you see it, it is a little, to say it's impressive, or even slightly impressive, would be a tremendous understatement. Viper XT, a very generous friend of the show, drops us $5 super chat and says, 2 shows in 1 day. Let's go. Forte, if I don't get a Series S and X tomorrow, I'm swimming across the river to your store. Hide one for me, LOL. Yeah,
I can't even hide one for myself, it looks like.
Yeah, that ain't right. And Bounty Boom drops another $2 super chat. Says 20 people outside Best Buy in my neighborhood. Yeah, this is going to be a bloodbath tomorrow. So you know what, folks? Let's jump right into it. And instead of for this particular aspect of the show, what I'd like to do is I don't want it to be a free for all, but I do want everyone to kind of jump in as they feel necessary to talk about it, because the round robin that we normally do for topics is going to be held specifically for what Bethesda means to Microsoft and what this duo now means to the industry. And then, of course, we'll see how much time we have left over to get into maybe another topic or two. But, look, the pre-orders are going live tomorrow. Microsoft has been very forthcoming about how and when and where you can pre-order your console. Specific times and dates have been put out there for the fans who want to get involved in purchasing a new Series X and a Series S. One of the big parts of the event, besides the consoles, is the fact that in 12 different countries / regions, the Xbox All Access program is going to be up and running when you go to reserve your console. Which again, it's to me, it's a little perplexing, to be honest, simply because, if you're going there, is there a different allocation? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're signing up for all access, does that guarantee you a console? When are you going to get that console? Is it November 10th? Is it November 19th? Is it December 5th? I don't know. I mean, are the 8 to 12 consoles for GameStop? And that's what we're hearing. And I got that on good authority from several people that I know, that it is anywhere between 8 and 12 consoles, depending on how big, the business is for the store. Are those allocated to just people purchasing the consoles? Again, it's a little perplexing, considering that they do go live, and to be fair to Microsoft, they have been very, very forthcoming and very transparent about how this is going to work. But it just makes you wonder, and I said this before and I'll say it again, they are attempting to do a roles reversal for what they did with Sony. If you remember, in 2013, Sony launched in 23 regions, if I'm not mistaken, whereas Microsoft, I believe, launched in 6. Where this time around, Sony is only doing 7, and Microsoft is doing 36, with 41, with 5 more regions being done shortly after the initial release. So in total, it's going to be 41 countries to, I believe, Sony's potentially, I think they said 7 up front, and it might be 9 on the back end, so it'd be 16. Obviously, in a COVID-based environment that we're currently in, we were made to believe that Microsoft was ahead of schedule, which they are, and that they were going to attempt a worldwide launch, which they are. And again, I think it probably sounds selfish, especially coming from someone who actually really, really wants one of these consoles, because, I have an Xbox show, so it'd be nice to actually get an Xbox console I could talk about. But it's it is a bit perplexing. I am going to say one of the stories that is going around, and I kind of want to get the panel's opinion on this, is there apparently there's a lot of pushback from many of the retailers, the big lot retailers, over the Xbox All Access program, because the console is not coming from said store, from what I understand. It's supposed to be that I would imagine that if they do sign up for Xbox All Access, that console is going to be sold directly from Microsoft. Forte, I want to go to you first on this and get and now I'll get the rest of the panel's opinion as they jump in. Is there any truth to this, or is there allotted consoles for All Access versus you buying it outright?
No, well, see, that's something that they they gave us a breakdown of pretty much how everything's going to work out. Access will start will start tomorrow, but the thing is, All Access isn't in the store. All Access can only be done online. So if it is, it's not something you can literally walk into the store and just sign up for. You have to actually go to GameStop.com or whatever other website you want to use that's using it and purchase the system that way. There will be pickup in store options to pick it up in store, which makes me lend to think that you are getting credit for it in the store, because you can buy it that way and pick it up. But there has been no communication on it outside of that. It just looks like overall, everything is done through the website, and then you pay for it there. I even hear that you do payment in the store too. Like, you could literally come to the store and do your payment options and stuff that way too. It just looks like the initial setup has to be online.
Okay. All right. I mean, obviously,
it's just something that I think right now the bigger question is why everybody's trying to figure out how they're going to deal with the amount of systems that we're getting. And then as we fall into the All Access category, that's when a lot of those questions are probably going to start getting answered.
Okay, because I would imagine that there's going to be, I believe that this option, because again, the climate that we're in, especially the financial,
it's going to be a big option.
It is going to be a big option. As a matter of fact, I believe it's going to be an option that's potentially so big that it actually might envelop the actual purchasing of consoles, because the option is a 0 APR, something it's unheard of. What Microsoft is doing is unheard of, folks, and they're not making a dime. You're literally paying for the console, and you're and Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live for 2 years for $25 and $35 respectively. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And obviously, considering they just spent $7.5 billion on Bethesda / ZeniMax, it is again, it's money back. Yeah, they're going to want the money back. Anybody want to jump in that has any questions regarding this, or concerns for that matter?
I actually do have some concerns.
Sure, jump in.
I just was thinking to myself that if, with the news that came out today, and then on top of this, with the much easier access of being able to purchase a console, especially if you don't have all the money up front, my question is, if they don't have enough consoles, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're building the hype. You built the hype up from today. Everybody's on cloud 9 right now. Everybody's super excited. Then you get to the store and there's only 8. And there's people already sleeping on the sidewalk right now, from what someone in the chat was saying.
But you just gotta.
What is the allocation for the online is completely different.
Yeah, the
from
online,
before,
online
right?
allocation could be a lot higher because they did say that there will be systems available online to pre-order on top of it.
Okay, I just wanted some clarity because now I'm a little nervous because I'm like, wait a minute, people are sleeping outside already? I'm on the show right now.
Well, yeah, people literally asked me. It was like, hey, is it possible that we can we camp out? I was like, yeah. I mean, well, I have no problem. I think there is a difference, though. I do agree with you that what's the point of the hype?
I didn't mean that in a negative fashion. I know
what you mean. No, I know exactly what you mean. But I do think there's a difference in the thing because there's a difference between what hype is and what the type of hype they're trying to generate.
Right
now, the hype of just because Microsoft has these systems coming out tomorrow does not mean that Microsoft still holds the whole ecosystem of you having to own an Xbox to be in their ecosystem. Let's be for real. This move that they made earlier today that they dropped on us at 9:00 in the morning while people were still brushing their teeth, that news right there was for Game Pass. And and Game Pass still is a very alive thing if you get the system or not. So yes, it does bring a big emphasis to the fact that, oh my God, Xbox just made this big news and I can only get these games on Xbox. And a lot of people are going to think that way, even knowing these games could kind of be played anywhere. That's just that appeal that once you hear somebody say they bought something, you automatically assume that they can't get it anywhere else. So Microsoft is missing out on the opportunity to get people into the Xbox ecosystem before they even find all that information out. So in that regard, you're right. But ultimately, it's still a win-win no matter what, with the hype that they're generating.
Yeah. Okay. That's basically all I wanted to know because, I mean, the way I look at it, again, like this is a golden opportunity to jump on. To be able to bolster those sales, to be able to get new gamers. Because, I mean, Xbox gamers already know, I would imagine, at least for the most part, Xbox gamers know you can play on your phone. You can play on your PC. You can play on your smart TV. You know what I mean? Or you can play on all the consoles that you already own now. The Xbox One X, the S. Right? So you could do all those things now. We know that. But if you're trying to entice new people into the ecosystem to be able to push your product forward, that's what I'm saying. Like this would have been the opportunity to do that. So
I think they're just thinking that. Yeah, I think they're just thinking that potentially a lot of people are going to be doing online shopping as opposed to going to these actual stores.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. That's why the numbers we're hearing about are so low.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine also that there at launch there's going to be physical consoles there for you to pick up in abundance.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I also think it's kind of a Trojan horse type of situation where they're looking at. They know that they want if you are going to sell systems, you do want to sell them, but you do want to make as much profit off those systems as you can, and the only way you could do that is through attachments. So maybe Microsoft is sending out, because they people don't remember, they did this back in 2013. The first allotment of Xbox Ones that went to stores was pitiful. Now, granted, over the course of that next 5 months of me getting systems, I ended up with close to 200 pre-ordered in my store. But that initial run was like 15 or something. So it wasn't a lot. So I do think that they're kind of taking the same approach. The only difference is they're doing it worldwide versus the 7 territories that they did before. But ultimately, what's going to really happen here is, and like I said, don't have any inside knowledge. Just is what I just think is going to happen. I think Microsoft's going to sit back and they're going to see how retail, how they interact with their guests, and how attachment flows through those different retailers. The better your attach is, the better chance you are to get more systems in your company to be able to push out to your customers. Because if Microsoft can count on you to give them more money by adding on extra battery packs and extra controllers, you're going to get more systems to be able to allocate to your guests, because they'll have a confidence that you're not just going to just pre-order the system just to pre-order the system to somebody, and they're not just getting anything else out of it. So I think that's going to be the play. And as the next couple of months play out, you're going to see certain retailers pull ahead and always have pre-orders versus other ones not really doing so hot when it comes to that.
I think it can also be something strategic as well. These consoles selling out their pre-orders at an extraordinary rate can also generate hype. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're going to be consistently being sold out. Everyone's going to want one of these things. So it could be a strategic play for Microsoft as well.
Yeah, indeed, it certainly can, and I think that what they're going to do is and again I have no inside information either. I think they're going to do the initial. They're going to see how it goes. It's probably going to sell out everywhere. I'm hoping that because the allocations are so low in certain locations, that they have protection from bots. Because that was one of the things that ruined Sony's PS5 reserves, that people would go to the stores and bots had already taken everything. And I think that we're in 2020, even though we're in a COVID 2020, that is unacceptable. You have to be ready. And I'm hoping that these stores, places like, because I'm going to be honest with you, I know that I can, you can only get one console. I want both. So while I'm waiting online, and hopefully I'm there early enough to wait online, I'm going to be refreshing at 11 a.m. on Amazon, and hopefully I can get the S or the X, and then go and pay for the other one, and there's my X and S that I want. But we're going to see how this is going to work. It's going to be very interesting. Anybody else want to throw their 2 cents in regarding the pre-orders tomorrow? Who is anyone concerned that they may not get there?
I am concerned because my GameStop, we got a lot of GameStops in our vicinity, like maybe 5 or 6. But the problem is it spreads out a lot of the pre-orders even more from what they've told me, and it's always uneven. So I'm very concerned at my little GameStop right up the road. There's already people camping outside. So I'm very concerned. Forte, should I go sleep there tonight?
I have the same question.
Especially
trying to figure this out.
Listen,
GameStop has a tremendous deal too.
I'm gonna tell you like I told people. I'm gonna tell you like I told people when I left the store today. I was like, listen, if you truly want this system day one, this would be your best opportunity to do it. Wow. See, for me, I can take a hit and say, because you guys know me, I'm very conscious about what customers are already going to think that people at the store are buying up these pre-orders anyways because the allocation is so low. But in my mind, knowing that I have so little of amount of them, I can in good conscience take that system away from somebody that I know is going to stand outside my door for like 7-8 hours to get it. Yeah. I mean, it should be. Now, let's be for real. Working in retail is a benefit. You get the benefit of being able to get stuff before other people do. But there's also a morality side of it. Like, unless you go camp off of this thing like everybody else, it kind of sucks to be able to just take that away from somebody just because you work there. Now, granted, that's my prerogative. But I also think that sucks as being, a consumer going to these places of business to try to get that stuff. So in my mind, if you want one, camp out and get it, because guess what? I know when the next allocation comes in. When it does come in, I will finally get I will end up with an Xbox sooner or later. I just won't get it day one. But for the regular customer going to a store, this is your best opportunity to know exactly when they're going to be there, because guess what? Other than that, you're going to be just like everybody's doing with Sony, calling your store every day trying to figure out if pre-orders open back up, or clicking F5 on your keyboard for the next 3 weeks hoping you finally get something.
Yeah,
I'm getting mine through the Microsoft Store because of my rewards points. I was able to accumulate so much points that I got like $200 worth of gift cards.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm gonna see how things are gonna work out tomorrow, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to get mine through online.
Yeah, and hopefully they're ready. Real quick, we have Andrew Soos, who drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says, "It's tomorrow in Australia already, and my order has been placed." Dude, good for you. Congratulations.
Nice, congratulations.
That's monster. That's a monster super chat. But besides, obviously the generosity that you got yours in, bro. That's awesome. And obviously now you can sit back and enjoy the podcast. Viper XT drops another outstanding $5 super chat and says, The 3 EB game stores here in Windsor only had a combined 25 PlayStation 5s.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is not good.
We're pretty much around there.
Yeah, Geek Roar drops an outstanding $5 super chat. Thank you for being here, brother, and thank you for your generosity. So what I want to do is we're half hour into the show, and obviously the main crux of today's conversation is going to be what transpired this morning at 9 o'clock. And listen, folks, I've been gaming, and I say this a lot, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm going to be 50 on Friday.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I made it to 50.
Yeah. Birthday with Boom.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We're going to have a nice birthday celebration where we're giving $150 worth of prizes away, Mrs. Boomstick and I. So my birthday, you get the prizes. So hopefully we get a good turnout for that. But today was, listen, again, I want to reiterate the fact that I've been gaming since 1978. I've been holding controllers in my hand since I was a kid, since my dad walked through the door with an Atari 2600. And in the history of my lifetime, I have never seen anything quite like what happened today. This is one of those instances that 25 years from now, we're going to look back and say, yes, we were on a podcast talking about when Microsoft bought ZeniMax and Bethesda and added 8 studios to their now monster 23 studio Xbox game studio lineup. And I want to bring up a picture, folks, because obviously, like I said earlier, pictures are worth 1,000 words. And this is the official list of Xbox Game Studios, also known as XGS. And if you were someone that might have poo-pooed Microsoft because they had no games, or because you listened to the press and maybe Halo wasn't your thing, maybe Gears wasn't your thing, maybe Forza isn't your thing, let's just read off the list of now studios confirmed to be in XGS. And it starts with 343 Industries, Compulsion Games, Double Fine, In Exile Entertainment, Mojang, Ninja Theory, Obsidian Entertainment, Playground Games, Rare, The Coalition, The Initiative, Turn 10, Undead Labs, World's Edge, Xbox Global Publishing, Alpha Door Games, Arcane Studios, Bethesda Game Studios, Bethesda Softworks, ID Software, Machine Games, Roundhouse Studios, Tango Gameworks, and ZeniMax Online Studio. So we I mean, listen, folks. Again, well, let me just say a big thank you to Master Clowns X3 once again. My God, dude, your generosity is blowing my mind. He drops another outstanding $50 super chat and says, "Loving these insights. Reminds me of OG Xbox days. Purely nostalgic." Well, dude, I'm glad that you're enjoying it, but my God, thank you for your outstanding and unbelievable generosity. I'm going to, Noof, I want to go to you first on this, because one of the running narratives that has been beaten into our heads as Xbox players is two things. One, Xbox has no games, and they don't have any first-party bangers. And the other thing is Game Pass is being made for filler, for canon fodder. Yeah. We've heard that from several of the content creation community. We've heard those exact words from several of the mainstream media who detest Game Pass. Now, the reason why I decided to go with you first is because we know you're a physical dude, right? Yeah. We understand that you're very, very open and honest about that, and we love you for it. But there is at some point, you are truthful. And you are, factful. And I go to you first on this because what Microsoft has done is potentially, again, I'm not speaking for you. I want to hear what you have to say, but potentially maybe moving the people who were all physical to potentially becoming Game Pass subscribers and supporters because the value is so over the top. Well, what are your thoughts on the acquisition? But more importantly, what does this do for Xbox and its millions of fans?
Well, it does a lot for Xbox and its millions of fans, but as you guys know, it does very little for me. I am not budging. I'm still going the same route I've always been. I will buy only the games. While I do like Bethesda, I can't say that I absolutely love them. This announcement for me, while it's huge, didn't hit me as hard as per se a lot of other people who might be huge Skyrim fans or love the Fallout series, so on and so forth. Like I said, I like Bethesda, but I can't say that I would throw all of Bethesda's games out the window for a new Gears award. You know what I mean? Like, that's just me. I'm a Gears guy. I love the Coalition. That's my jam. Crystal Dynamics, another company that I love, and their kind of stuff, what they do, that sort of stuff, right? So I'm physical. I'm going to stay that way. At some point, maybe I will go Game Pass, but that will only happen if and when I am forced to. Right now, I will still go into the store, buy that physical copy of the games I just really want. I don't care about the rest. But anyway, I don't want to take this down one of those weird rabbit holes.
No, dude, listen. You're this one. Let me just stop you right there, because I want you to take as far down as you want, because this is your time for your point, and your point's not wrong. I understand. Listen, dude, I am not going to sit here and say, if my brother Neo Mental's in the chat, and I believe he is, he used to break my balls, because I had, and you know what? It's funny. It's a funny story, real quick, folks. I used to buy so many games, right? I used to work overtime for games. As a New York City police officer, people would work overtime for a new car, a trip to Vegas with the boys, a vacation with the family. Not Mr. Boomstick. No, I worked tirelessly, 40 plus hours per month, and that's all we were allotted as cops, right? We had limitations. I would fill my slot with overtime to prepare for game launches, console launches, and or the end of the year, which we're coming up on, the holiday and the new holiday in March. So I was a physical dude, and I bought so many games that when my brother would come over, he would walk over to my shelf like I was Blockbuster, and he would see all of these games in cellophane, and he'd be like, listen, boom, what is going on here? You didn't play this game? Like, I'm on this game, and I got this other 2 games. So of course the backlog was real, and he would come in like a Blockbuster. He wouldn't fucking pay anything. He would just take it like a prick, but he would eventually bring them back. But all jokes aside, it took years, up until the Xbox One X for me to finally go digital. So I completely understand.
Yeah. No, but like, I mean, today's announcement was huge. I mean, as if Xbox Game Studios wasn't legitimate last week. Well, now they've taken it to a whole nother level. This was a huge announcement. There's no other way to look about it. I mean, anytime a company spends $7.5 billion on anything, it's got to be damn big. It says a lot about what Phil's done and how he's basically transformed the brand in front of Satya. Satya backed that up today with his own, believing that he needs, we need to bring the gaming community together and to give them the best place to play, and and it wasn't even just that announcement today. I mean, something as small as Xbox saying today that they're going to bring you an improved Xbox Series X and S controller at no extra cost today. So again, Microsoft going into the next generation, obviously not nickel and diming their fans for every little thing, and that's refreshing to see. I know maybe they didn't add as many features as the competition per se maybe did to the controller, but that's not the point. The point is Microsoft could easily charge more and get it, but they didn't. So you give them kudos for that. Now the value of Xbox Game Pass, while like I said, I never hated Game Pass. I will stress it. I don't hate Game Pass. I love it. I absolutely think it's amazing. It's great for gamers. It's amazing for the Xbox, their ecosystem moving forward and all that stuff. People on a budget, people that want to play more. There's so many good reasons to love Game Pass. It just got way, way bigger today. I just collect. I can only have so much time and so much money to play whatever. So I'll just buy the games I want and play them the way that I choose to play them, and that's it. But I mean, man, what happened today was just unprecedented. And it's not like, I don't know if you wanted me to talk about like just the acquisition, or if you want me to kind of jump into the sole, the other narrative we see in the community where people are saying, people are terrified that Microsoft might run some exclusivity after some point in time, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you want me to touch on that or just kind of more about the acquisition.
Dude, go crazy. It's your time, brother. So handle your business. Because
I just want to say this, right? Look, we all think that sometimes we understand why the industry does it. We understand why Nintendo will do it or Sony would do it, and et cetera, et cetera. But at this point in time, like Microsoft literally got embarrassed last gen. They took it on the chin and they came out swinging this time around. You know what I mean? And I say fight fire with fire. If the competition is dirty enough to do it to you, then I say go do it to them. You spent $7.5 billion. You do as you damn well please with it, and you will make your money back and then some. And the people that don't like it, well, too bad about you. As I said in my tweet earlier, how hard is it really for you to go out and buy that console to play that game? Stop being just, you know, a sulking fanboy, or just stop being cheap. It's one of the two. I don't care how you want to look at it, but it's going to fall into one of those categories. Here's the deal: all you need to is one game for exclusivity. And this is how it would be used. Say the next Elder Scrolls, which would be, what would that be, like number 6?
Yeah, it'd be 6. Yes,
6. Mm-hmm. So even just that one game, and you make it PC and Xbox exclusive only, even for if you only did it for a year. All right. The thing is, a lot of people will want to play that game. We know how huge that property is. It might be the biggest name in Bethesda's whole lineup of games. It's one of the most recognized properties out there. I mean, Skyrim is the 4th best-selling game, I think, now, of something of all time or something like that, because everybody probably bought it 5 times. But,
yeah, they're going to package it in a box with every copy of every Xbox that comes out is going to have Skyrim in the box with it now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But people look at it this way. They look at it from a very narrow perspective. Well, you know, Microsoft would be dirty if they did that, blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. You don't have an Xbox, you play it on your PC, but you also got to think about how huge that phone ecosystem is. How many markets Xbox gets into now by having Game Pass Ultimate and you having a half decent phone with a half decent internet connection. Right there, their user base expanded immensely. But you think of all the guys, the PlayStation guys, have been riding the fence for years, never really jumped on Xbox. Maybe they left Xbox, went over and want to come back. But the bottom line is they go out and they buy that Game Pass just for that game. But it's not just about that game. It's also about the fact that more people to get into Game Pass, that means you're either buying the console, you're playing in the ecosystem, and that means you're buying more games from third-party companies on your platform, especially if you're buying the Xbox. So when Microsoft goes into these studios and they're trying to attract more content to their platform, and they've got these big boosts in numbers, and then, of course, once you basically get a fan who invests so much, you're almost a fan for life in this day and age, because, like, even for me, if I wanted to get rid of my PlayStation, right, for example, probably for the 5th or upteenth time, one of the reasons you always keep coming back to those consoles, because now in this digital age with the way our content is and everything tied to accounts, is you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose all the stuff you've accumulated. You don't want to lose access to like all your friends and the ecosystem that you build around all of that community and stuff. So the deal itself is huge in so many ways. There's so many ways that this deal is it's just a magnitude that people don't even talk about. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many underlying features that we won't even see the true benefits of this for years to come. And they're going to make their money back twofold. Look how fast they made things back on Minecraft. They blew it out of the water. I mean, I think the game is just making profits hand over fist. It's a multiplayer. Honestly, at least for the foreseeable future, I think Microsoft, they will allow certain games, certainly obviously contracts that are in place that have to be honored, they will honor those, and those games will come out on the multi-plats. But where they go down the road is largely going to be based on the success of Game Pass. And I can see it tripling easily over the next couple of months because of this one deal alone, because this is not 1 or 2 studios. This is a lot. Well, how many studios is it, like 8 or 9 that's underneath that banner?
They got 8, and for a total of 23.
My God. That is a lot of studios. That's a lot of talent. That is a lot of potential. And that is a lot of content. And I'm sorry, you are not a proper gamer if you're going to tell me that with 20 odd studios in Microsoft's portfolio, and you can't find at least 2 or 3 games that you would love to play. Well, I'm sorry. Then maybe you need to get out of gaming, because there is obviously nothing out there for you. Because Microsoft's got the first-person shooters covered. They're going to have the RPGs covered. They're going to have, the racing covered. So they've got pretty much they got Rare. So now they've even got the great family games covered. You name it. They have got their bases locked. And the big thing for Microsoft, this now means quality content from a well-known established publisher with well-known established IPs. What's the difference between the Warner Brothers deal and this one is that they're getting the IPs that they don't have to relicense, that they don't have to work around.
Great point.
You get Warner Brothers. We've already heard that. You get Warner Brothers. You get the studio, but that doesn't mean you get Batman.
You
that
pay for the licenses. That's why this is a much better deal. Great point, Lanu.
So
Great
this
point.
one is a tenfold win. It's going to keep making money for them. It's just huge. People are already saying, like Doom Guy and Master Chief. Can you imagine the collaborations now that we can get because of this? Can you? Look at IDS.
Wouldn't it be pretty amazing to get? Yeah, wouldn't it be pretty amazing to, as a bonus for Xbox players, to get the Master Chief sheepskin armor for Doom. Like,
Oh my god,
are you effing kidding me? Like, again, it's a small get. It's not groundbreaking, but it would be pretty epic if you could play as the Master Chief, being the Doom guy. Like, you find the armor. Again, the parodies are an arm length long. And again, that was a great point, Loom. I did not even consider that.
And I'll just leave it off and say that personally, just because I know Microsoft and they're not as concerned with console sales as they are about driving Game Pass, they're definitely going to drive it to PC, cell phone, or to the console, which I do think they will see a massive boom in the console sales, especially with the Series S, because people will want to get in on that next gen at that great introductory level, get some of those great next gen features, and now be able to take advantage of an incredible lineup of games. Lots of Bethesda fans out there who will definitely probably come over. Just the fact that now they can have the old games, the whole lineup, and the new stuff, all for a crazy subscription fee every month. I mean, how can you lose at that? As far as Sony, look, I don't think you're going to be left out in the cold. I really don't think Microsoft's going to play that dirty. I definitely could possibly see some timed exclusivity, because Sony definitely loves to do that. They did it with Final Fantasy. They're putting Spider-Man in the Avengers game exclusive for PlayStation, which I think is still dirty as heck. But this is what I'm saying. They don't care. Microsoft, they don't go that low a lot of times. I don't know. Maybe they will. Who knows? Like I said, I say fight fire with fire, but we'll see how things go. I'll let somebody else take the floor. Like I said, I could probably go on for 2 hours alone on this if I really want it, but you got a great panel here, and I want to hear what everybody else has to say. So thanks for letting me have the floor. It was a big day for Microsoft, a big day for gamers, and especially if you're on Game Pass or plan on buying it, boy, did you ever win today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And Duda, we definitely appreciate, of course, the honesty, because that's really what we like on this show. Let me just catch up with some of the super chats. First of all, we have a really super chat for $2 from he says, happy birthday, Boom, but it's his name that makes me smile from ear to ear. It's Zero Cool, and if you are cool like me and him, you'll know that is from Hackers, which is one of me and my brother's absolute favorite movies. As a matter of fact, when you hear me say computers, I always say pewters. Because of that film, and I leave off the CU, but I mean the CO, I should say. Man, I gotta go back to school. Anyway, listen, what I want to do is, Mag, I want to go to you next.
Yeah.
But I want you to tackle, of course, the acquisition.
Uh-huh.
But what I want you to tackle, because you are probably the more salty of the group, and you kind of like really tell it like it is. One of the so-called narratives, and I talked about this in the private chat, and I'm not going to specifically call out anybody individually because I don't want a war. I appreciate and respect everyone's opinion, but there is a running theme and a narrative, and I'm interested to hear what the chat has to say, but more importantly, what you have to say about this. And that is, there are many people in the content creation community, both large and small, and / gaming media, that are calling this deal foul. And they're calling it foul because a lot of them are PlayStation players. And they feel that Microsoft having a monopoly on 23 first-party studios, especially the ZeniMax / Bethesda Studios, are potentially going to lock those behind being able to be played on the Xbox consoles or PC. And I say tough titty. That's just my opinion on it, because I think that if the shoe was on the other foot, not only would Sony be flinging mud while you were wiping your eyes, they'd be kicking you in the balls, because that's what Sony does. And I understand that Microsoft is in this to make money, but they're also in it to make money for their own company. And I know that the easy way to do that is to have these games on everything, but that's not their goal. Their goal is to fund Xbox Game Pass, to sell consoles, to get you into the ecosystem that you may or may not have been there before. Maybe you were there during the 360 and you left. Maybe after 2013, you bought an Xbox One and you weren't happy with the direction and you left and you went to PlayStation. Well, they want you back. And the way you get these people back is by offering experiences that you need to buy for that you're going to play on your Xbox. So to tackle the unbelievable purchase, but bring it back around to your opinion on whether or not these these people that are with the torches and pitchforks from Microsoft's head are right or wrong.
Well, first of all, let's get this out of the way. I mean, you remember a month ago when we thought $4 billion was a big deal? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden you look at today, it's like 7.5. What's going on here today? And of course, it's a much bigger thing, as Noof, of course, mentioned just a few moments ago. And by the way, Noof, you can go ahead and talk for 2 hours because Tempest and I are going to go camp out right now. So, yeah. Anyways, in all seriousness, this whole thing. Let's get into this whole thing here. This deal is huge. Obviously, Bethesda is monstrous. However, that big time Microsoft money can turn some of those smaller studios into a big deal later on down the road. Maybe not like next year. Maybe it take a few years. Because I was kind of eyeballing. I'm going down the list of the names. I don't have to repeat everything. Everybody's heard it 100 times today. But, you look at, teams like Alpha Dog and Roundhouse. I know they're doing a lot of support work and they're doing some mobile work. But, hey, you never know. If you throw enough money at them, they could become – look at Ninja Theory. What were they, like 14 people? Yeah. 20 people when they made Hellblade? Fantastic. You throw enough money and a good talent their way and a little bit of creative freedom, they might turn into something big. They couldn't turn into that Ninja Theory or a Naughty Dog or something down the road. These are the things that excite me. Okay. Another thing, the checklist. Microsoft always talks about diversity in their gaming. This is it, folks. Yeah. This is it. You've got, just to name off a few, okay? You got Evil Within. Love that series, by the way. You got survival horror. Check. Okay. RPGs, open world games. You've got Elder Scrolls. Check. They're all done. You've got your Dishonored, your Praise, those are basically what? Like a first-person shooter adventure, kind of like a BioShock.
You got Rage in there.
You got Rage in there. Sorry, I forgot about Rage. Holy mackerel. There's so many that falling out of the woodworks. You've got Fallout. You've got Doom. Okay, you've got Doom and Wolfenstein as your first-person shooter Call of Duty sort of vibe to them, right? So if you got big fan of that first-person action adventure shooters, you're covered. So all these things are covered. Now, the thing is, never mind just looking at the future. Look at the present. Do you not think that they will launch every single one of those ZeniMax Bethesda games on Game Pass come launch day, November 10th? You bet your ass they're going to. Oh, yeah. And it's going to happen because now they're going to go, oh, here, by the way, here's the whole catalog. And now people can catch up on those things. And when they start catching up and get a feel for those games, really enjoy those games, guess what? 2-3 years from now, those other games are coming up. Maybe sequels to those games. Maybe a Rage 3. Maybe a Doom 3. Whatever they got cooking up with Fallout. Obviously, you've got Elder Scrolls 6. So these are all big deals. So anyways. And another thing, by the way, I'm really surprised no one mentioned this so far in the show. We've got Obsidian and Bethesda in the same room together.
Why can't... Yeah, what's funny?
Yeah, I was gonna say all the Fallout developers are under the same roof now.
Isn't that wild?
It is ridiculous, dude. It's almost diabolical.
Oh, it is. It certainly is diabolical. But let me tell you something. Where's my new Vegas 2? I want it.
Do you know that someone tweeted at Bethesda and said, now that you guys are together, could we potentially see a Fallout New Vegas? And they didn't do a gift. They did the text where the guy is kind of like with his hands up in the air. Listen, I think about this just for a second. And again, we have fun on these shows, right? That's the whole point of everyone coming out here. You're hanging around, you're listening to the podcast, you want to have some fun. So let's take a trip down Speculation Town, Mr. Mag. And you're in the car with me. We're cruising at a nice 25 miles an hour, and we see on the corner, not a hooker, but we see Fallout New Vegas 2 as an exclusive for the Xbox and PC. Wait, hold on a sec. In combination of a double team workup where Bethesda works with Obsidian in an unprecedented sized game as an exclusive to get you into Xbox Game Pass, one of the most beloved Fallouts in the series. What do you think about that?
Now, here's the thing that now that you mention that just sparks something in my mind about what Phil said earlier today. he said something very interesting. He didn't, when they were people are asking, of course, in desperation, which I'm going to get to in a few minutes, by the way, because I'm not finished dealing with those people in the media. But let me tell you something. He said something interesting. He says it'll be on a game by game basis. And so he didn't really answer the question. But what he did do is he kind of left it a little bit up in the air. But you know what's going on in his brain? He's going to hold on to some of those. Like he'll probably put a majority of them as third-party titles, so to speak. So, they'll be like your Minecrafts, that sort of thing, right? So everybody has access to them. But if he has something monstrous, he may hold on to just one, not all of them, maybe just one that will bring a lot of players over. So let's just say, for example, but what they're going to do is they're going to play it by ear. This is what I'm thinking they're going to do. They're going to say, okay, we're halfway through the generation right now. What are we at, boys? They're like, all right, we're at, 60 million consoles sold, 55, 60 million consoles. He goes, I need to boost it up to 70. Boys, make Elder Scrolls 6 exclusive. Or a New Vegas 2 exclusive. Then you all of a sudden you could sell 5 to 10 million consoles just on that alone. So they may hold those cards like aces up their sleeves. You see what I'm getting at? So they may do something like that in order to, boost their sales, or maybe boost, if things start to sag a little bit, maybe they have, how every generation goes up and down and up and down. So, maybe they're in a little bit of a down moment. Maybe they'll make that decision and say, maybe I'm going to bring this up bring this down the road. Let's put that as exclusive. So that's why they're not going to say anything off the bat. Now, in regards to this whole media business and all these people and all these clowns, out there, you know what it is? Let me tell you what it is. Okay. What does a wounded animal do? A wounded animal will go to the corner and start fighting back, right? They start pushing. They start getting aggressive. They start pushing and start scratching at you. You try to help the cat. The cat's foot's broken. You're like, come here, Mittens. I'm going to help you. And what does he do? He tries to bite you. Okay, this is what's happening. And this is what they're doing right now. They're desperate. They're being ridiculous. And what they're doing is they're eating mouthfuls of Big L cereal right now. Okay, and this is the problem. I have a big problem with these people. I don't like that. And the thing is, when they're worried about all of a sudden, but you notice how when, like I said, I'm not going to get into all this fanboy nonsense. Okay, I'm not going to do it because I am a multi-console owner and I love my PlayStation. I love my Xbox. I love my PC. I don't like Nintendo Switch, and that's fine. But what I'm getting at is that, these guys, if it was PlayStation getting these exclusive, they'd be championing this thing. But then when Xbox is doing that, they start sweating bullets and getting nervous. And this is what I have a problem with. I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm not even going to bring the big saying, to bring that same energy. I'm not going to do it. But what I am going to say is I'm going to say, why? What is the purpose of this? You have to get behind it. What is the advantage? Why do you care so much? And the thing is, you shouldn't have to worry about it because I don't believe that Microsoft is going to lock everything up. I don't think they're going to do it. They bought a publisher. So what are they going to do? That's like them buying EA. You think they're going to make Madden, exclusive? No. They're going to make as much money as possible. Now, this is where I'm going to disagree with Noof. Noof, I'm sorry, but I got to disagree with you. With the $7.5 billion that they spend and you're saying, you hang on to, you put those games exclusive and then they'll make up that money. They'll make that money a lot faster if everybody has access to it. The only funny part is I am only paying for Game Pass and you are paying $60 for that same title.
Potentially 70 too.
Or my God, you know what though? Don't put it past Phil. Okay, he'll make it 60 just to put that extra screw right in there. But I got to tell you, this is the problem I have with this media situation. Instead of accepting and being happy and saying, "Wow, this is great," and having a little bit of faith in Microsoft once in a while, would that kill anybody? But no, they get nervous because they think that Microsoft is going to act like Sony, but they're not. And that's the difference, and that's where people don't seem to understand. And I don't know. That's the way I look at that. And
they should put them up, put the games up, and that way it's getting Microsoft saying, you know what? If you don't want to buy our console or you don't want to buy Game Pass on whatever device we have, there you go. You're going to pay more when you buy your game in the store.
Yes, and you know what?
They could potentially do that, but they can also keep games for their first party at $60 while everyone else raises it and kind of just take the, a walk silently, carry a big stick kind of a approach to it. I mean, again, we've heard that we know for a fact that all Sony first party games are 70. We also know for an absolute fact from Jim Ryan that he had some choice words and he took a lot of shots and if we get around to talking about it, I'll bring it up in the back end of the thing. He took some shots at Game Pass before this. I wonder how he's feeling now, to be honest with you. I think he's probably eating a lot of egg off that face. But you know what? What I want to do is let me just catch up on some of the super chats, and then we're going to bring Cybernox into it because he put something into the private chat, and I want you to address that, Cyber. Black Eye Dog drops an outstanding $5 super chat. Says pre-orders open up in a little over 6 hours. I probably it's 5 hours now in the UK. Do I stay up or not? I say, my God, dude, stay up because I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna have a hard time sleeping tonight. I really am gonna have a hard time sleeping. Could you imagine if the Xbox guy doesn't get an Xbox Series X? I'm gonna be devastated, folks. I'm gonna be honest with you. But you know, again, it is what it is. Philly Eagle, a very generous friend of the show, drops an outstanding $5 super chat. Do you think Obsidian and Bethesda will compete or play nice and help each other out on an RPG next Fallout? Interesting. I mean, that's what we said a second ago. I'd like to see them collaborate, dude. I think they both could do well. Randy Ellis. Hey, Randy, thank you so much for being here. But more importantly, thank you for your outstanding and very generous $10 super chat. And he says, 2.5 billion a year revenue in Game Pass alone. Microsoft will break even in year 3. With keeping multiplats as is, but after 3 years, exclusive titles, timed exclusive DLCs will be all Xbox and PC. Sony will be fine. Great show. Well, thank you so much for that. And that's a great point. I mean, obviously, once they make their money back, then they could get a little tight with the belt and say, no, we're not going to allow you to play the games unless you invest in, of course, the console. We have Assassin Lupa. Hey, Assassin Lupa, thanks so much for being here. Super appreciate. I know that you are very famous on the RDX chat, and great to have you in the podcast with us today. And they drop an outstanding $5 super chat. It's great to hear that you are feeling much better. I know you went through some stuff, so it's great that you are here, and hopefully you are enjoying the show. And they say, if you don't move with the times, you get left behind. Indeed. Well said. Bounty Boom, a very generous friend of the show, drops a $2 super chat. Says, hit that like button, people. Great show. Yeah, folks, listen. For the first time in the history of my YouTube channel, which will make 3 years in November 3rd, I got over 1,200 likes for today's show. That's big, man. I mean, when you only have 5,000 subs, man, and you can get that many people and that many views, if you just found the channel and you're enjoying it, my God, please consider subscribing, because this is the kind of content you're going to get. We have a lot of fun, but we talk about a lot of big topics, and I think your sub will be not only well appreciated by me, but I think you'll appreciate the work that goes into this channel. Y9 Power, another very generous friend of the show, drops a $2 super chat and says, Series X will sell out, shutting up the haters. Yeah, I know there was a running narrative that what if the Xbox doesn't sell out? That means nobody gives a shit. Then whatever. That's not going to happen. I wish that was a problem. To be honest with you, I wish that was a problem. So everyone who wanted a Series S and X, potentially both like me, will get theirs. But I want to go to the private chat for a second. And the reason why I bring up the private chat is because Cyber, you brought up a confirmation that I had in the show notes, but I would have overlooked. So thank you for bringing this up. And of course, I want to get your opinion on how big this is, not only for Microsoft, not only for Bethesda or ZeniMax, but for the industry as a whole. But Microsoft confirmed 15 million Xbox Game Pass subscribers, and that is up 50% from April 2020. So in 6 months' time, they have gotten 5 million more active paying subscribers for 15 million. And this was before this deal. Holy shit, man. I'm not sure who said it, but they could potentially, by the end of 2021, if this goes the way I think it's going to go, maybe even double it. What are your thoughts on the acquisition, but the 15 million in Game Pass currently?
It's amazing. First of all, boom, those numbers you got earlier, well-deserved numbers, man.
Thanks,
I hope you keep getting them, and they just keep skyrocketing, man. You're well-deserved. In regards to the numbers on Game Pass, I mean, we once even speculated that the numbers were higher than we thought they were. Microsoft was being a little bit conservative with those numbers, and now we see how successful Game Pass is. We've always said it. The value proposition that we have on Game Pass is by far the best in the gaming industry. There is no other service like it. And now you're telling me Bethesda, the behemoth, is coming to Game Pass as well? Come on.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? And then I put another I put another message on the chat for you guys. Mikey Barra put out, said lots of fans / press saying don't make Bethesda games exclusive or timed or otherwise, which I understand, but I wonder if the tables were turned, would the message be the same? #aggressive. And that's the thing, man. Xbox, I don't know why people love to hate on Xbox, or the messaging has to be different from Xbox. They don't have to do anything. They could do whatever they want. They just purchased this company. Okay, let them do what they want to do. Don't worry about it. They've demonstrated it throughout this whole phase, this whole past couple of years, that they are for the gamers. So they are gonna give you the best value. They are gonna give you the best service, and they are looking out for the gamers. They're one of the few companies, So let them have their moment. If you got any bad shit to say, go talk to a wall. You're gonna, you know what I mean? Go do something else. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. What
Go
are we
talk
doing?
To I love it.
You know what I mean?
Some people may get a better answer than what they're expecting. I don't know.
Exactly. But remember a few months ago, we got that devastating Halo news. We got, and then on the show, we were like, how does Microsoft answer back? What do they have to do? And I think pretty much it was a consensus among all of us. We said, it was unanimous. We were like, they have to do something big. And guess what? They dropped their wallet today. They put it all out on the table, as we like to say here on Primetime Gaming. Okay, they put their pants down and just let it drop. Here we go, 7.5 billion. Okay, Bethesda, let's go, baby. We want that. You know what? Come join Xbox. Join the ecosystem. That's right. Xbox Game Pass, day one. All Bethesda's games, future games. You can't. There is no question now on what you as a gamer, and just think about this. You as a gamer, you potentially don't even need an Xbox for you to take advantage of the service. Okay, right now you could be taking advantage of it on your tablet, on your phone, on your PC. It does not matter. As long as you're part of that service, that ecosystem, you're gonna be taken care of. You're going to be fully satisfied with the service, because as soon as you're in, boy, it's hard to get out. Man, Xbox pulled, and the crazy thing about this is that no one saw it coming. No one saw it coming, which made it even more, it elevated the news even that much more. And I clap my hands to Xbox. Phil Spencer, man, he just keeps delivering over and over again. I know a lot of people like to say he's, lying about it. Man, he turned this thing around.
It's funny.
He turned this shit around.
Yeah, he did. But you know what's funny, dude? It just goes to show you the silliness of some people. Someone in the chat, I'm not going to call them out, not in this chat, the one earlier where we broke 2,000, kept saying, "What are you guys cheering about? He lied about VR."
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It's always the silliness of it all.
That's crazy, dude.
Man, the numbers themselves don't lie. People enjoy the service. They enjoy the ecosystem, like I mentioned. Once you're in the ecosystem and you see the benefits you get in how fluent everything is, in your ability to take your game from A to B to C, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to leave. That's why they don't mind giving you your first month for $1, potentially 3 months here bundled in. You know why? Because once you're in, it's hard to get out. Yeah, man. Excited. Big W for Microsoft and Xbox today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Real quick, Lucy's Games in the chat says Evil Within, one of the most underrated games. Absolutely, I beat that game twice. My God, it's so good, so much better than the original. I did not like the original. This one was an action fest. It was fantastic. And again, it's becoming at the Game Pass soon enough. Gaming Forte, if you're there, I want to get your opinion on this because from a fan's point of view, I want your opinion. But from the business aspect of your mind, because you wear two hats. We know that you work for GameStop. We know that you are the proper representative of the company, which is why we love you, right? We obviously you represent the brand very well, but also you represent the community. So I want you to attack this question from both angles. You see, one of the things I could imagine must have been hard to do is sell an Xbox. Simply because Xbox had a stigma. Sony was and still is the cool quote unquote system, right? Which is why they sold 112 million consoles, which is what I believe they're up to now. And now, with everything that has transpired, I mean, and something, I broke this down. I kept using the word "the deck is stacked" in an earlier podcast. So when you look at what Microsoft has done. And you say, well, they got a $299 Series X, they got a $499 Series X. They got price and they got the most powerful. But then when you look at Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it includes 200 plus games. You get first, second, and third party games day and date, right? You have EA Play, you have Xbox Live, you have Project X Cloud, and you have Xbox All Access launching in 12 regions. I don't think it's going to be that hard to sell a console. And I think, and I said this before, I think that Microsoft has positioned the company to potentially sell more boxes, even though that's not their end game, because people are going to want to play everything in a Netflix type of situation, which they do get. So this Bethesda deal, adding 8 additional first party studios, sets them up for one AAA banger every month if they wanted. What are your thoughts on the selling of an Xbox now with this to tell your customers? But more importantly, from a fan's point of view, is this one of the most unprecedented moves you've ever seen?
So coming from a retail side of it, it's absolutely a game changer when it comes to that. The level of the amount of people that were reaching out about pre-ordering their Xbox for tomorrow was staggering. It was like, a lot of people, when they look at the difference between PlayStation and Xbox, they know that, everybody knows that PlayStation has the worldwide appeal. So you're going to hear a lot of conversations and a lot more people are going to be reaching out, trying to get the PlayStation. But today it was like, people were like, yo, what's up with this Xbox? People that I know are stark Sony, people that I personally know are stark Sony fans and only play on PlayStation. We're calling the store like, bro, I'm gonna have to get this Xbox. I'm gonna have to get this Xbox. I was like, and they said, what do you think, man? Which one should I get? I'm like, yo, bro, honestly, it just comes down to you. I said, if you got a Pro, get the X. If you got the base boy, get the S. I was like, they said, well, you gonna jump and play with me? I was like, man, as soon as you get up here, I'll give you my gamer tag. I don't care. So the biggest thing is, I think this is a game changer, and it is a fundamental shift in what is happening when it comes to gaming. And this is the thing that I akin to. Like I've been telling people for the longest, don't cap for companies, cap for games. The games themselves will sell them. The games will sell themselves. Like everybody is a fan. Everybody is a fan of something. Everybody loves the platform that they play on, but that doesn't mean you have to be completely like head over heels and just say, oh, PlayStation, you can never do wrong. Xbox, you can never do no wrong. No, when Halo came out and dropped the ball, we all got on their head. When Sony goes out and makes my job a living hell with these pre-orders, I give them hell about it. But guess what? I still pre-ordered my PS5. And guess what? I'm still going to get my Xbox when it comes out. And guess what? No matter what, there's still people that's on PlayStation. They're going to come out and get these games on Xbox, even though an Xbox ain't got no games. So,
wow.
so that's the narrative that's going. That's the narrative I'm happy to see. Shout out to Brap and them earlier. They were talking about this, and I hit them up in the DM, and I sent them a super chat, and I said the thing that I'm happy about the most is the fact that we're talking about games. We're not talking about one company outdoing another company. We're talking about how the thing that Phil Spencer promised everybody 4 or 5 years ago when he said, we're going to fix the platform, we're going to fix the services, we're going to fix the console. Right. Over the last 3 years, the last thing on that list, and some people got on him about it being the last thing on the list because that's why Microsoft's in the situation they're in when it comes to the games. They said the games was the last thing they were working on. They got everything else in order. The games is the last thing. And guess what? Has he not delivered over the last 3 years when it comes to the games? Now, granted, yes, those games take time to mature and create and get out into the ecosystem, but this is undeniable at this point. You can't say that Xbox doesn't have something when they literally just added 15. They added another 8 studios with games that range anywhere from 97 Metacritic as low as an 85. You can't change that narrative now. So for me, as a person that's in a store, it easily makes it better, easier to sell an Xbox. At this point, you don't even, like I said, the fact that you don't even have to have an Xbox to take advantage of this. You can take advantage of it anywhere you want to. The fact that Microsoft holds all the cards when it comes to how other platforms enjoy these type of games. Yes, they came out and said, oh, we're going to still allow these games to be played on other platforms. Things that, it's going to be on a case-by-case basis. We're going to honor the deals of Ghostwire and Deathloop. We're going to honor, think about that. They are literally buying the company and they're going to still honor the deal that they made that ZeniMax made with Sony to let those games be timed exclusive on Xbox. What company do you know that went through the trouncing that they went through last generation is still going to allow that deal to go through? Guess because Phil Spencer, when he says he's not about taking stuff away from people, that right there proves it to you, because he can literally just say, the Lord giveth and the Lord takes away. Because he literally
they could have paid the penalty fee.
Literally
of pulling out of the contract. And no, we're launching that on the Series X.
They just literally paid $7.5 billion. The penalty fee ain't nothing compared to what they just paid. So I 100% love what they're doing here. Now, as a fan, they're just making it easier for you to want to just ride with them, even if you don't need an Xbox, even if you have a strong PC at your house. There is always a moment when you don't want to sit at your computer desk and you're like, I don't want to be pushed all the way up on my monitor playing these games. Now they're giving you a reason. Now they're giving PC gamers a reason. It's like, dude, Microsoft making moves like this. I don't know if these games are all going to come to PC. They say they are, but on top of that, maybe I don't want to just sit in front of my PC all day. Maybe I do want to go sit on my couch or play with my kids in an atmosphere where they could play games in Game Pass. Because guess what? All of these things are in Game Pass. And guess what? What happens if Microsoft comes out and says, you know what? All the games, we're gonna be like $60 for all our games on Xbox, because guess what? If you buy an Xbox or you're on PC, you're in our ecosystem. You're gonna be able to play those games for cheaper. You can pay them as low as playing in Game Pass, or $60 if you want to pay them. But guess what? If you want to go to another platform where we don't have any control over what's going over there when it comes to the pricing structure, you might pay a little bit more. You might pay $70 for the games over there, because guess what? You ain't got a problem doing it right now, because Sony pretty much just told you you're doing it. So would you be mad if Microsoft said, hey, play on our platform? You get it for the price that it always has been. We won't raise the price on Xbox. And if you don't want to buy it, you can get it in Game Pass. So there is so many different ways. I'm interested in the science behind this, because nobody woke up this morning thinking this was going to happen. And this was a major move.
Boom, can I ask? Can I ask Forte a real quick question? I don't want to just go on a big space, because I think this is related to what we're talking about here. But I'm just curious, Forte, because I was saying something in the chat about the Game Pass and stuff, and what I think we need to see from Microsoft. Obviously, being at the store level, at the retail level, how much promotional material are you seeing from either company right now? Just because we're only a couple of weeks out from these things launching, and how much promotional material are you seeing reps in your store? What sort of stuff are we seeing? Because if there's one area that I felt Microsoft royally screwed up in, at least at the GameStops of Canada, which is EB, which is your affiliate up here. It was in the marketing in store was terrible. They had the old. I remember how long they had the OG Xbox One sitting in their display cases.
Yeah, had the display
while the new
there,
ones were out, and you'd see old banners, and there was a lot of stuff in the store. And I hate to say it, but the bias, even at the store level, I mean, I guess you can't help it, but it drives me nuts. And I'll make an example. I went into my local EB on Friday, and they have a lot of the regular staff they have, and they know who I am. They know how much money I spend in their store. I walk in with my Xbox shirt on. Those guys might as well have stared holes in me and took me outside and beat me with a bat. They basically treated me a totally different way than the time I walked in about a month before and had a PlayStation shirt on. And the guy's like, "Oh, that's a cool PlayStation shirt, man. Like, you got to come over here and check out the hoodie we got here because it's so cool. You might want that." It's like, no, they didn't treat me the same way at all. It kind of drives me. But anyway, that's off topic. But I just want to know about the promotional material because I think Microsoft they have to get that right at store levels too, because that's where a lot of the people that aren't the hardcore will see this device first. You know what I mean? That's where they get their information. And if they're not getting it right, like they need a big banner in the store or outside the store that just says Game Pass. And now what having Bethesda, they need to show pictures of Fallout, Skyrim,
I'm
Halo.
sure that's common, dude. Yeah, that's common.
And then say, you can play all of these for $13.99 a month. Bam. You know what I mean? Like big bold letters. That might make some. But what are you seeing at the store level right now?
No, if I can,
before
you, if I can tangent off of that real quick, I always thought that they missed the opportunity during E3 to literally have a wall. And I think I tweeted this at Aaron Greenberg. I said, have a wall, okay? And you literally have a thumbnail or a display or panel or, a monitor with every single one of your games that you have on Game Pass, and just have a few stations there so people can just walk right up to it and play any title that they see. They're going to see a huge wall with like all these games. It's just going to take them by, it's going to like literally, it's going to be breathtaking. Okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to be.
I like
that.
Like
a brochure to hand out to every fan in the store with a list of every single game that's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Well, you could literally just take like in those type of atmosphere, you could literally just make a wall of a wall of cases.
Exactly.
Like a wall of cases of every game that is in Game Pass, just like in their case, and then have 5 or 6 stations in front of it saying, rock out. All of these games you see on this wall are playable in this service.
Right here. Just go ahead and play it. Yeah. I actually tweeted that out to Aaron Greenberg, and
maybe they'll do something like that when we get back.
I hope
reality.
so, man. Oh man, that'd be fantastic.
No, but the answer,
go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, but to answer the question, they're doing some things. I mean, can it definitely be better? Absolutely. I'm really cool with my reps. Like, I actually did a podcast with my rep on BRAP the other day, my Sony rep. And, my Sony rep is, he's phenomenal. My Microsoft rep is too. He's really, really good too. The difference is Microsoft has them spread out a little bit more further, where Sony has theirs a little bit more local to the areas. They have more in the area. So, but the one thing I will say is it is a lack of information when it comes to the services and stuff in store. Normally the stores that do really well, in my understanding, the stores that do well are the stores that actually, play in those ecosystems. Like my store does well because I play on Xbox. I understand it helps that I do YouTube and I do these podcasts and I talk with you guys on Twitter and everything, but I do well because I am an Xbox fan. I like playing on the platform. I like understanding everything going on with Xbox. So when people come into the store, I can use that knowledge to actually help guide them into the situation that's good for them. A lot of the times it might just be PlayStation, just due to the conversations we have. And I'm not going to change somebody's opinion based on what I think they like. But but the one thing that has never failed, and I probably am about 85 to 90% on this conversion. If a person never had if they're coming from like PS3 or 360, or they just want to buy their next gen console, anybody that buys an Xbox walks out with Game Pass with that system, because it literally, when you look at it, it's like you tell them like, dude, all of these games are in this service. No, man, that can't be it. I'll literally pull up the Xbox app and show them like, listen, all of these games, and I'll show them on my phone. These are all games that I get to play no matter what, as long as I'm in the service, and I'm in the service for 2 years. And they see it, and I'm like, how much does that cost? And guess what? I'll even tell them the secret, how to get it for longer. Because guess what? I'm a good person. I want people to enjoy games. I don't care. I don't care what it takes. I just want you to enjoy the games you're playing. Take advantage of the system and stuff. And people literally walk out with a year or 2 years of Game Pass, and they upgraded on their Xbox, and they get it for literally 2 years. So there is definitely a need to like really teach people exactly what's going on. And I think that's going to happen this holiday with the whole all access thing, because let's be for real, all access, 50% of all access is literally Game Pass. So how are you going to convince people to want to get all access unless you are really convincing people to get into Game Pass? So I think that's the selling point, and I think you're going to really see that hit like a fever pitch this holiday.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point. Real quick, let me catch up on some of the super chats, because as you can see, Tempest's son,
that's what I'm laughing,
has left the building, and he is in his car driving over to his local GameStop because he is not effing around. He heard us say,
I ain't mad at you, bro. You
stand mad at you, bro. I mean, listen,
get you a coffee.
It's cold up here.
Just let us know if you're online, and hopefully you are number one, because if you're going to stay overnight, that's balls of steel, kind sir. Let me catch you.
I deserve it if I do that.
You damn right you do. Black Storm in the chat drops an outstanding and very generous $5 super chat. Says, I think people need to appreciate the fact that Xbox has their first Japanese studio in Tango Gameworks. Folks, you know what, dude? No one is really talking about that, because Ghostwire Tokyo looks dope in my opinion, and it's something I would definitely play. Now, granted, we're going to have to wait, whether it's a 6 month or I think one of the two games is 6 months. One of the games is a year. And I believe that the one that is a year is the other Bethesda game with the assassin. I believe Ghost Tokyo is 6 months. So we'll see. Obviously, I'm glad Microsoft is honoring that. Our very good friend of the show, Pixel Bit G, drops an outstanding $2 super chat. We also have a few others that came in. The Wise Old Gamer drops an outstanding and very generous $2 super chat. In my Yoda voice, begun the content wars have. That's awesome. I can just hear it. I can literally hear Yoda's voice. The content wars you have, yeah. There you go. I mean, who was that? Was that Mag?
No, that wasn't me.
Okay, that had to be. I don't know who that was, but
that was me.
Of course, it was Noob.
That's me.
I think it's a Canadian thing where you guys do voiceovers for good.
We're so lonely. We got to talk to ourselves all the time. We make up multiple personalities. Most of our houses are a kilometer apart. You know, you gotta. You know.
We have a Good Eye with the outstanding $2.79 super chat. And he says, if the tables were turned, would the message be the same? That's a hardy question, I have to admit. But you know what? Before we bring Cotton in, I spent the 50 cents and I got our very good friend Arnold Schwarzenegger to stop by, because obviously he's loaded. If he wanted to buy Bethesda, he probably could have, because he's got money. He's a superstar. He was a governor. He's got a lot of money. Arnold, my question to you is, obviously you're not being pulled to star in any of these games, at least not yet. But how big of a deal is this for Microsoft? And more importantly, does it interest you in any way?
Oh my God, Boom! It was absolutely crazy. I was actually in the washroom and I was sitting there on the toilet and I was scrolling through my Twitter feed, and literally everything just dropped. I was like, wow, they've gone out and done it. I'm not even sure. I think I'm having my own tumor. I was like, wow, 7.5 billion on Bethesda. Now they get all the big franchises. You're gonna get the Fallout. You're gonna get the Doom. You're gonna get the Wolfenstein guy, which I should be in the movie of Wolfenstein. Don't you guys think that'd be awesome?
I agree. Yes, you'd play a good Wolfenstein for sure.
Absolutely. So it was a fantastic deal. I can't believe that Microsoft did it. I swear to God, it's like, I swear that Phil Spencer, he went out on his balcony that morning, he stripped off his robe, he let his ball sack hang out, and he's like, come on, let's do it. We're going this morning. Satya, get the wallet. We're going to do it.
Well, one quick question before we get you out of here, Arnold. Are you in the same mindset as Noof Nukem regarding Game Pass? Are you a digital kind of a guy? Or are you an old school 80s kind of, I want my cartridges kind of a guy?
Oh my God, I swear to God, with the Noof Nukem, man. I want to slap him upside of the head. He's so antique. He's so antique. I swear to God, when he walks in the wind, you can see the dust blowing off from his antique. You know, like the dude is so old school. He's going to build his next house. He's going to have cartridges for walls. You know what I mean? He's crazy. He needs to get with the times. He could save himself so much money. And why would you not want to save money when you're in this kind of an economy? But no, he's kind of stupid. He's very stubborn. I cannot talk to him and get it through his head. So I'm just leaving Noof Nukem alone. He's going to do his own thing. One of these days, we'll have to take him outside the barn and we'll let Cletus beat the crap out of him. But until then, just leave him be.
Okay, well, thanks so much for that. Certainly appreciate. Cotton, you've been sitting here. You've been patient. You've been dying to talk about this deal. And again, people understand Cotton McCass, he may not be a household name yet, and he's going to be, I can assure you, because he always has interesting opinions and theories. But we know in his heart of hearts, he is an Xbox guy, very much like myself. Not afraid to play on a PlayStation 4, not afraid to play on a Switch, but his pillow when he sleeps at night says Xbox, same as mine. Now, Cotton, you, my friend, must have been beaming from ear to ear because, again, narratives for the last couple of years has been Xbox has no games. Well, that has been wiped away in literally a 2-year period. That pre-E3 2018, Microsoft had 6 studios. Post E3 2018, they now have 23.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I actually was losing it today. When I got to work this morning, it's like 7 a.m. here in Denver, and the news broke. And I literally, most of my coworkers, a lot of them play games. Most of them are casuals, and they mostly just play Madden or Call of Duty or the show, right? MLB The Show, and they're mostly all on PlayStation. And so when I started to tell them, first off, a few of them are like, "What's a Bethesda?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, hold on. Where's my friend at? Where's my friend at? Let me talk to him real quick." And I started talking to him. He's mind blown. He doesn't even believe me. So we're sitting there looking it up. I'm like, "No, it's for real." And then I caught your show later on and listened to the whole thing, and I got him to start listening to it. Which, yeah, double down on the congrats. That was insane. That the numbers you hit on that show, man, it was ridiculous. But
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
It's still kind of surreal. Like, just the fact that a couple weeks ago, everyone is chomping at the bit. Like, Xbox, get WB games. Everyone's almost demanding it. Like, come on, Phil, do this. And then, like, what happens? No one's expecting it. It comes through and takes, like, I'm not even thinking about WB games anymore. Like, we still got, those games are still coming. Like, Batman's coming. Harry Potter's coming. Those are, like, Suicide Squad's coming. They're all going to be multi-platform. But now we have Bethesda and everyone else that comes with it, ID Software, and all the IPs. Like, a lot of the points have been made, but it's huge, man. I don't know anyone. Like, Skyrim was an insane game, and even before I was playing Skyrim, because that came out my senior year of high school, and that, like, took my whole high school by storm. Like, all my friends, everybody, like, didn't go to school. I remember the day. It was November 11. It was 11/11/11. That was the date the game came out, and no one was at school. We were all playing Skyrim, and before that, even my older brothers were out there playing Morrowind on the original Xbox, and then Oblivion on the 360. And it was just like those are insane games. And to think that, I know people think Bethesda hasn't been quite on the ball recently with games like Fallout 76 and whatnot, but they have almost unlimited resources now. And then they have all these other devs who can help out and share assets. Like we mentioned, you have Obsidian there now. They can work hand in hand with Bethesda. They can do a New Vegas. You know, even Fallout being there is crazy. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. Dude, it just blows my mind. And the narrative that there's no games or there's no action RPGs, it blows my mind. And if I being real right now, I don't think that they're going to spend $7.5 billion and not have some at least a year exclusive on a lot of these titles. Obviously, the games that are current games as a service, the ESOs, Fallout 76, they're going to continue to support those. I feel like it's a pretty a lot of people would feel the same, but like just the idea that Elder Scrolls 6 could be only Xbox and PC. Someone said it earlier, but yeah, you could sell close to 10 million units just off of that. Like, that's huge, man. It's so big. That will bring people back into gaming. People who I have friends who are still playing Skyrim today.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I again, to your point there, Cotton, you're making a lot of sense here, because maybe they do have a year exclusive. Maybe Microsoft turns around and said, yeah, okay, you know what? For our team, we're going to release it first, and then we'll back end it. But again, if you drop another Skyrim type of game, if you drop a Fallout New Vegas 2, and you get that out there, you're going to move boxes. See, this again, I had no inside baseball information to this when we talked about it on last week's show about how I thought, in my opinion, that Microsoft was going to sell more boxes because of All Access, because of a $300 console. But now you factor in one or two of those big games. Let me tell you something, Cotton, that those two particular games transcend generations in a way unlike anything before it.
Yeah, you want to?
For sure.
Let me say something.
There's another game. Oh,
let
sorry,
me say something on that. He said about the whole Xbox got no games, and I love it because that's going to disappear now. But the thing that interests me the most is what's going to happen when Microsoft releases Fallout 5 or Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield. Mm-hmm. This is how this is the power. People keep, and I've been hearing across YouTube and Twitter today, oh, these games are washed up, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, but these games didn't sell. That's why Bethesda ended up selling. Let me tell y'all something. And y'all can disagree with me if y'all want. I think y'all gonna all agree with me. Do you see Last of Us Part 3 releasing on the same day that they dropped something like Fallout 5?
No.
Do you think Sony's ballsy enough to release a game like that? We crucify Square Enix for releasing Shadow of the Tomb Raider on the same day that a Fallout game came out. And what happened to Shadow of the Tomb Raider? It got decimated because Fallout came out that same day. So that's the power of what these IPs are. These aren't just normal IPs. Like, yeah, they may be in the decline, but like you said, Skyrim is literally number 4 on the list of most sold games ever. And that's not going to, and just the name alone is enough to propel this purchase into the next generation. And I'm with Boom. Microsoft is going to, always thought Microsoft was going to sell more systems just because they're being more aggressive. Mm-hmm. Now, they're going to have people out here really believing these games are just exclusive to their platform, even if they are going to make them third party. And it would be nice. And they don't even have to do it for a year. If these games are just 30 days exclusive to their platform, people will not wait to go. Yeah. They won't wait 30 days to get on another system. That's enough time for people to say, I'm about to go buy an Xbox because I don't want to be spoiled. I want to play Fallout day one. I want to play Elder Scrolls day one. I want to see what Starfield's about day one. And they're going to jump into the Xbox ecosystem. So Microsoft is winning all the way around on this one.
No doubt. They have.
Yeah, Cotton, please continue your point, brother, because I want to hear what you had to say.
It's just.
I'm sorry, Cotton.
No, don't be sorry, brother. Listen, your point was masterful as usual.
It's just. There's so much. That whole narrative has been killing me because I've always just played so many games on the Xbox.
Well, you play games because you're a gamer,
right?
Everyone on this panel plays games because we're gamers.
Just a sports game or just a Call of Duty game. Not to knock on those people, but there's varieties of games across all the platforms. So to say that one doesn't have it, it's always blown my mind. And just even besides the Bethesda deal, like Xbox has just been going crazy. The EA deal is not. That's not a not of a. What's the word? It's a big deal. It still is a big deal. Like all the sports games going to be coming to Game Pass. That's huge. Now you have even the studios that they've been building. You got more games in the Skyrim sort of vein with Avowed, people were talking about, oh, is they're going to have to compete together? Now they can share assets if they want, but then if even Avowed's going to be huge. You have Halo still coming. Don't fall asleep on that. Halo's still going to come around. That's massive for your shooters. The fact that you have all these very big just characters now, like very well-known IPs. You can do, I've heard people throw it around even before we went live, like having a Super Smash Bros. Style game, a PlayStation All-Star style game where you're smashing up the Doom guy, Master Chief, or Joanne Dark. Like, there's so many things you can do. If you would have told me back then when Skyrim was selling the way it was, that Bethesda would sell for 7.5 billion. That's a lot of money, but dude, I feel like they got to steal with this, especially if they do keep some of these titles cross-platform, or if it's only a year exclusive or whatever it is. They're gonna make money hand over fist with this.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Can I a little game? You know, a little game that I think a lot of people don't think about at all, but I see a lot more people playing it than I think we give credit to, is Fallout Shelter.
Yeah,
that thing, I see a lot of people playing that, and I'm not talking about like most, maybe even the hardcore, but I see like a lot of casual people.
Yeah, my coworkers were playing it.
Yeah, dude, I see so many people playing that game, and that game is everywhere, you know, and I think that's gonna do wonders for Microsoft too.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Clowns, we're going to bring you into the conversation. I know that you literally jumped out of your skin in the pregame, and I know that you've been at a boiling point to talk about this. But let me just catch up on a few of the super chats, Clowns, and we'll get your opinion on this massive deal by Microsoft. Mariano Pampa, a very good friend of the show, drops an outstanding $5 super chat. Congrats, Boom, on this morning's podcast. Well deserved. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. He says, good guy, Xbox dropping awesome news on Monday's great show so far. Amazing panel as always. Well, thank you so much for that, dude. Chaos Sloth drops an outstanding $5 super chat, and he says, already a $1,000 Series X on eBay. Tomorrow will be crazy. Yeah, that's very sad. I mean, I hope that if you really want one, you'll get one, and don't pay the scalping prices, because that's just being a scumbag. Sorry. Sikio Yumi drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, ID Tech plus Orion Streaming Tech plus 8 studios plus great IP. Yeah, I mean, again, win, 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 and win again. Gamer by Choice, who was very generous this afternoon, drops another $5 super chat and says, question: would Xbox have bought WB Games and ZeniMax 2, or just one of them? Great show. Now, here's the reason. That's a great question.
Oh, that is a good question.
That's a great question. I'm going to tell you why I'm glad they went with one and not the other. And I think someone said it earlier. It might have been even Noof might have said it. They don't have to pay for the use of the IP.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't have to pay for Batman. They don't have to pay for the Justice League or Suicide Squad or any of the DC characters that they own. They just went out and bought all of these studios, and they own Doom. They own Fallout, you know, they own and any of the games, they pick it, Dishonored 2, you know what I'm saying? Rage, they own all these IP, you know what I'm saying? So it's the better deal for sure, no doubt about that. Let me see, make sure I get them caught. Okay, I'm all caught up. Clowns, listen, you, like myself, are an old school cat. And you have seen some pretty big deals. Like Microsoft buys Rare, big deal. Sony buys Insomniac Games in 2019. Big deal for them, because Spider-Man's a huge hit, right? Spider-Man Miles Morales is probably going to be another big hit. And they have a few others. Obviously, we've seen some other bigger deals. But Clowns, there is nothing in comparisons in video game land that is even remotely close to this. My question to you is, as a Game Pass subscriber, someone that appreciates the service for what it already does, what are your expectations with the additional ZeniMax Bethesda, and how big of an impact do you think that this is going to be long term for Xbox sales?
Well, Boom, I think this is huge for Xbox for a number of reasons, to be honest with you, right?
Well, you know what? Break every one of those reasons down. The floor is all yours, Clowns.
The first reason is we see a price increase for next gen from some publishers, right? Well, guess what? Now, if you are a Bethesda fan or a ZeniMax fan or any other studio fan, you don't have to worry about that if you got Game Pass. You're not going to be shelling out $70 a title or 80 euros a title. You're going to get it in Game Pass because you already have Game Pass. And what better deal for a gamer than Game Pass? I mean, it's huge right there on the savings alone. On top of that, this is enticing for all the people out there that like Bethesda and ZeniMax. I mean, when you go out there and you got your PlayStation 5, you had no idea about the generations issue. You had no idea about the other issues that Sony misled people on. But one thing was for certain is that you would hope that you'd probably play the next Fallout game or the next Elder Scrolls or the next Doom. And now that is uncertain. So what is that going to do? That is going to bring more people into the Xbox ecosystem, whether it's through Game Pass on the PC, Game Pass or cloud on the phone, or whether it's be to getting the cheapest console for next gen at $299. I mean, it's going to get people in the door for Microsoft for services, and that's exactly what they want. Now, the other benefit of this is to Microsoft and Xbox is there's only so many great studios out there that have time and time again sold blockbusters, right? Bethesda is one of those studios, Arcane's another. So Google, Amazon, even Sony at some point might come along and say, we need games on our service. Well, by then, Microsoft might have bought up all the greatest game studios there is, and they might be like, okay, well, we'll license our titles on your platform. And Google and Amazon will shell out that money, and it's going right into Xbox's pocket, Microsoft's pocket. And you know what? Phil really ended the console war right then and there because Microsoft is on a buying spree, and they're going to keep buying as long as it adds longevity to their service, value for Game Pass and to the gamers, and it strengthens the power that Microsoft and Xbox Game Studio has in the industry. You know, studios help each other out and work on other titles, and they charge fees for different assets and all that. And look how many studios Xbox Game Studios now has. Yeah. I mean, who else can you go to for help? No one. Because Nintendo ain't going to give you their IPs. Yeah. Sony ain't going to give you their IPs. But you know what? Phil's a nice guy, and he'll say, you got the money? Yeah, Xbox will be your friend, you know, because he ain't going to cut people out as long as they're paying for the service.
And that's a great point. You know, real quick, as we close in on 700 folks here in the chat, which is amazing. Another monster day for Double Barrel Gaming. I just want to ask, the first thing I want to say, if you're new to the channel, we all, of course, want to welcome you. Everyone here is welcome. As you can see, the chat is very friendly. Every now and again, you get a troll, you get an a-hole. We bounce them. Lethal Papa literally walks silently, carries a big stick, and he takes care of business. He's the best in the business. We have a tremendous amount of modders. Some of I just recently promoted to being modders to keep this chat fun. So if you're new, welcome. Consider subscribing to the channel. I think you're going to dig it. If you're here and you are enjoying it, man, hit that like button because it helps. It helps people find this channel. It helps me navigate the ridiculousness of YouTube and their algorithms. And like I said, if you are enjoying it, you know, I mean, trust me, I won't send you a bill for 25 cents for every time you hit the like button. I promise. But let me just throw a couple of these super chats into the mix. The Wise Old Gamer drops a very generous additional $5 super chat and says, as an investor, I heard about a huge purchase several months ago from my broker. Thought it was WB, then TikTok. It's nice to see that it was Bethesda. Wow, dude, that's really good. And he drops another $2 super chat and says, but from what I hear, it's not the last one. So, folks, as we get close to the 2-hour mark, the way we're going to close out this show is exactly with what he just said. We have on good authority that this is not the last big move. And I don't necessarily mean acquisition because it's not. I have it on good authority that we may see at least 2 more. But the rumor that has been floating around the entire weekend, and I don't even know if it's possible. I don't even know after this move, is it possible? But if Microsoft does what I've been hearing from Reddit, from 4chan, and from several insiders, This is going to be the drop it onto the table, everyone gets scared and run away kind of a moment. And that is that Microsoft has been rumored to drop the console by $50. That's right, folks. You heard me. You heard me correct. $449 for the Series X, $249.99 for the Series S. And I got news for you. I already think it's game over for Sony. I'll be the first one to say it. I'm not trying to make trouble, but I'm saying that with this deal and 23 studios, do you understand that if a game gets delayed, if a major a first party AAA banger gets delayed like a Halo, one of 22 other studios could step up and drop a AAA banger every month in its place until it's ready to go. Do you understand the power that Microsoft has? And if you now add to the fact that we're hearing rumors of a $50 price drop, I don't even know how they would do it. So I want to go to Gaming Forte. Gaming Forte, this is an insane thought and theory, but Microsoft has been aggressive in a way that we've never seen before. In your opinion, how big of a deal would a $50 price point be, and how detriment would it hurt Sony?
Oh man, coming through on the back end and dropping the price like that would just be, for its fans, it would be the biggest power move they could possibly do. It's like, it's showing that they're not going to allow Sony to walk over them. It's basically them just telling, like, middle finger to Sony, we're friends. We'll still play tennis and golf with each other on the weekends. But when it comes to this console stuff, we're at each other's throat for real this generation. So our information got leaked out, unfortunately. So I guess that gave you the idea to come out and say what your price was, and now we're going to undercut you. So do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't. I would love for it to happen.
Yeah,
I would love for it to happen. But do I think Microsoft has to do it? I think they don't have to do it. I think the one thing that all of us as gamers wanted to know was what's going to be that thing that's going to make us feel better about losing the biggest franchise that Microsoft have, and that was Halo. Now we have our answer to that. Yeah. Even if these games, and I do agree, I forget who said it earlier. I think some of these games already hit Game Pass before, but I do think if they're not in Game Pass now, on the day that the X comes out or the S, all of these games will be dropped back in there. Every last one of their games will be in Game Pass, and that would just bolster this lineup by even more than it is now. So I think that's the thing. Unfortunately, you'll still be playing older games, but guess what? There's games that a lot of people have never played before, and that's going to be a benefit, especially with Xbox's mantra of bringing these games up and giving you better resolution, better textures, better frame rates, and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be the case. But I'm still holding out hope on a whole bunch of this other stuff, like certain people going out and trying to deny that they haven't been in talks with companies and saying that we ain't being bought by nobody. Because I think that's still on the front. And the one thing about this move, and of course, I'm talking about Bungie here, people. The one thing about this move is, what if? Because anybody will tell Bungie can go out there and say anything they want to say. Trust me, if they're willing to spend $7.5 billion on this, I don't think there's anything that Bungie could put up there in the stratosphere that Microsoft wouldn't be willing to pay to get them back. So,
how much you think Bungie's worth?
How much? They're probably worth around $2.5 billion.
Yeah, probably
somewhere around there.
Probably
two.
Yeah, at least 1.5.
If you want to overpay, you pay him, 2.2, 2.6, somewhere around there.
You got to think you're also just getting the Destiny IP and it's tied up for at least the next 3 years.
And the new IP they're working on.
And the new IP they're working on, exactly. So the biggest thing for me is this move helps them in more ways than ever when it comes to Bungie, because Bungie needs help. And the one thing is, Microsoft has all these other studios, but they're not really support studios. These are studios that can build their own games and they have their own management style so they can actually do the things they want to do. But Bethesda, like you said earlier, they have a lot of, some of these studios are real support studios. And what do you and having the Bungie just didn't have the idea to say, I don't know if Microsoft can truly help us because it would be nice to get the money, but we really need help with studios helping build this content out. How did Microsoft goes to them saying, hey, we got the help for you now, because now we have these studios that can help you build content over the next 3 years for your game. How valuable is that to you? Because I always thought that whole narrative that they say, oh, this isn't true. You what part of this conversation wasn't true, Mr. Pearson? Mr. Pearson, tell me what wasn't true, because from what I keep hearing is they definitely had conversations. But look, man, this is a great move. No way you slice it. I think Sony, they're not going to be hurt by this because it's Sony, and that's just a testament to the business that they built over the course of 20 plus years, and they're going to be fine. But this will make people, the one thing is Microsoft had to do is just make you think about buying an Xbox.
Yeah.
Before, people didn't even think, a lot of people were like, why should I buy an Xbox? Now that conversation flips. So that's the thing they won in this conversation today, and all of the messaging they've been doing, good or bad, for the last year.
That's a great point. Noof, why don't you answer the question, brother? What you think?
Sir, what was that question?
Oh, that's a good question. Because I'm looking at the chat. I'm trying to answer the people in the chat, and I actually forgot what question I originally asked Forte because it went back to Bungie.
The 449.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you very much.
Oh,
that's
right. Like, if they drop the price?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on how big of a deal would it be for them to walk in the room and drop a $50 price point on Sony like that? Would it be devastating?
Hey, I don't know if you go devastating. Like I said, I think PlayStation is going to be fine no matter what price point they could have. They could have launched at $100 more than Xbox. People would have bickered, but I think they'll still be fine. Like they will sell. And I'm not really worried about where they sit positionally. As long as they got consoles to put on the shelves, I think Sony's going to sell. They've got massive, like I said, right now, Sony is the brand, right? I mean, is the brand. It's the most popular brand probably in the world, at least from a console perspective. The fans who are diehards are already chomping at the bit. They got a ton of momentum going into this gen, and it only helped the fact that the last two to 3 years they've had nothing but an amazingly stellar lineup of games. And then even the other day to come out and say God of War is in 2021, that had my jaw on the floor. I was like, wow, I was not expecting that. We didn't see anything outside of a logo and some voices, but that's kind of huge. That gets you pretty excited for next year. Now, whether that date slips or not, we don't know an exact date. I'm going to assume it's the latter half of 2021. But like I said, if Microsoft drops, it's huge, especially for us Canadians up here who definitely appreciate the drop, because we do pay quite a bit more for our consoles, which also stinks because I don't know if any of you guys caught on to this, but while Microsoft basically like $379 is what the Series S is going to cost in Canada, which is what, $299 US, right? So $80 difference and $100 difference on the X. But Sony decided to go $499 for the digital console in Canada, but what up $30 on their disc edition, which is kind of funny, right? So Xbox Series X is $599 Canadian, and Sony goes up to $630. And it was really weird because a lot of people let this one slide under the radar, but up here in Canada, in 2013, when the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 kind of came out head to head, we all knew that yes, the Xbox was more expensive. But when they got rid of the Kinect and the prices were basically head and head, Sony right after that actually jumped up the price of the PS4 in Canada. And a lot of people don't remember that, but they did. They actually increased their prices in Canada. I know, yes, they used the demand and currency, but the weird thing is Xbox never did. They actually lowered the cost on their consoles, while Sony kept putting everything up. Kind of weird, right? So they definitely, I don't care what they say, they're definitely taking their Canadian fan base to the cleaners. Maybe they just think we're really stupid up here or something, or maybe it's so cold up here that our brains don't operate functionally. But no, but yeah, $50 would be huge. I don't think Microsoft needs to do that right now. It definitely would be tough for Sony to match anything that way, and would be a very aggressive move. But there's really no more than that, really. At the end of the day, like I said, I think Sony's going to be fine no matter what Microsoft does with their price. This deal with Bethesda, I think, does more for the Xbox brand than a price jump right now, because when you start looking at that portfolio of games, People are just, like I said, outside of the stubborn old mules like me, there's almost no way now that somebody doesn't look at Game Pass and go, holy mother of God, that is an incredible deal. How can I refuse?
Yeah. No,
right?
for sure.
That's how they got to market this. Hundreds of games at your disposal on Xbox now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal. It's definitely a big deal. Real quick, let me catch up on some of the super chats, and then we're going to get everyone's final points and get everyone out of here as we close in on the 2-hour mark. We have Reggie Mobile 9 with an additional outstanding and very generous $10 super chat and says, great show again. Boom/crew. Can't believe Xbox has become the RPG capital of the world. Happy day. Peace, fellows. Well, listen, enjoy your day, my brother, and thank you for being here. And of course, thank you for your generosity. We have J-Dub is a shill. Drops an outstanding $20 super chat and says, hey, Boom, what's Arnold's opinion on Bethesda purchase? Can we get a statement? And we had one earlier, but we'll bring him back in for a second. Arnold, what are your thoughts on the ramifications of the purchase of Bethesda?
I'm going to say this right now, guys. Go now. Get to your GameStop. Put your deposit in. Go do it. They're limited.
Well, thank you for that. Definitely appreciate it. And he's right. They are limited, and people are going to be hopefully not sad tomorrow. Hopefully everyone's going to, that wants one will get one.
By the way, Forte, maybe you need to clip that and then play it in store.
Psychonaut 8 drops a very generous $2 super chat and said, Lethal Papa is the boss mod, real deal, Holyfield. Yes, he is, and I'm blessed to have him because the guy is definitely a savior. Considering that, unfortunately, the place is packed with trolls sometimes. We had a few other ones come in. We have Psychonaut 8 drops another super chat for $10 and says, Microsoft has come out swinging for next gen. No one can talk smack now. I feel that Microsoft is not done yet, so don't sleep on Microsoft. This Bethesda deal is awesome for us gamers. Power your dreams. Indeed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your super chat, my brother. Wilbo Gaggins drops outstanding to $5 super chat. Says, I just woke up to the Bethesda news. WoWee, Arcane, and ID Software are awesome. Not to mention the IP. This is huge. Speechless. Yeah, it was a lot that grabbed a lot of people. And Black Storm drops another outstanding $5 super chat and says, imagine how Bethesda acquisition affects Nintendo. They were incredibly supportive of the Switch. I don't think that's going to change for now, but maybe later on it might. We have Joe Dunmore, very good friend of the show, drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says, Halo Universe inside Destiny 3 only on Xbox. I like the way this man is thinking. Forte, I'm sure that you like the way this man is thinking.
I love that.
But Cotton, real quick, what are your thoughts on the rumor of a $50 price drop? Do you think that Microsoft could actually technically afford to do it?
Can they afford to? I mean, they got how much money? Microsoft?
They just spent 7.5.
Well over.
Well, they're $1.7 trillion company.
$1.7 trillion company. Okay, yeah, they just spent 7.5 billion. That's
not even
nothing
1%.
in a trillion. You know how many billions are in a trillion?
999 billion.
That is a lot of damn money. Yes, they can afford to do that. Do they need to do that?
Talk about it would be balls of steel move, man.
Balls of steel move. They have totally kind of flipped the switch on just they've been on the offensive, like on their Twitter, just on their marketing. Like they're kind of playing it very cheeky. I like to see it. They're really nice guys, the way they handle their things. Congrats, Sony, on your good show, which is cool to see. It's nice to see that. But the way they've been doing it, don't worry. We're going to let you know when to pre-order. All of just everything, especially on Twitter, I've been loving what they've been doing, playing hardball. Why not? Go for it. I say go for it. I want to save money, so that's selfish. But at the same time, they just spent that much money on Bethesda. They just did whatever kind of crazy deal with EA. If they come through with Bungie, there's rumors everywhere. People are talking about Ubisoft. People have been talking about Sega forever. We have Tokyo Game Show coming up.
Yeah, something's happening with Sega and Microsoft as well. So it's pretty interesting.
There's a lot of stuff that could be going on. A $50 price point, especially in this climate, can definitely sway some people, no doubt. That's just a matter of if there's consoles. One.
Just a heads up for my Canadian friends, if you're trying to get an Xbox Series X through the Walmart.ca website, it now says out of stock online.
Oh no!
What?
So if right when I said if there's consoles, so
wow,
I think they could do it. I don't think that they don't have the money, like they could afford to do it. In other words, but I think people will say it as a power move, and then some people will also be like, "Oh, they're scared. They're going to be outsold by PlayStation." So, right now they have the power narrative, they have the price narrative. Now they have we have a shit ton of games narrative as well, all coming into Game Pass. It's just funny because people, media, fanboys, people have been poking the bear for so long, and at this point, they're dancing with the bear. Microsoft's the bear, and when you start dancing with the bear, you don't stop till the bear wants to stop. They're gonna keep dropping the mic on people, and they could do it. They could afford to drop the price.
Yeah, and we'll see. Cybernox, what are your thoughts on the potential price drop?
Well, I can see them. They can certainly afford it, but I don't think they'll do it. I don't think. I don't think they feel like they need to. The demand for this console right now, especially at the holiday season, is going to be so high that they could wait a little while before they introduce something like that. They'll just be, like sticking the knife and like twisting it. But I think this announcement here, the Bethesda announcement, was just another, gratification for the fan base already. I don't think they need to do anything else. I can see them potentially doing something like in February or something like that, where they can see if demand has slowed down or anything like that. But for right now, no, man, they're fine. I don't think it would be I would be shocked if they were to drop the price by $50, but I don't think so. I think the price is at $499. They're either breaking even or losing money on these consoles as it is, because that console is extremely powerful. So yeah, man. And I will say this too, like if you're and you see the result of the fan base and people, in competition breeding excellence on the company, right, and demanding more from a company. If you like, most of us here, let's say we primarily game, or let's say PC, Xbox, and if you primarily game on PlayStation, that's what you need to ask for. I see something on Sony's side that I don't see enough people talking about, and that's like the bringing your peripherals, your controllers to the PS5. You can literally play your PS4 games on your PS5 using your DualShock, but they won't allow you to play your PS5 games using your DualShock. You see that? It's literally, they're just turning off, saying, no, you can play your PS4 games on your PS5 using your old controllers, but any game that technically says PS5 on it, you got to use the new controllers. So there's, these companies are both going two separate ways, but if we demand better from these companies, and we see that and they have competition, they eventually, give back to the fans, and that's exactly what we're seeing with Microsoft now. So yeah, I know I went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but yeah, price drop, no price drop. I think it's gonna stay $499 and $299 for at least the holidays.
Okay, makes perfect sense. Clowns, let's get you in on there. Price drop, yay or nay?
Yes, I think that
it would be ultra aggressive, Clowns. It would be.
Yep. I think it's, what, Boom? I think that rumor's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to come out the gates swinging. I think they're going hard, and they want this console in people's houses. They want to help people get this console in their houses. So I believe in Phil, and Phil we trust, and Greenberg we believe, right?
Yeah, indeed. And it's going to be.
So when would they announce that?
That's what my question is. Is it like later, like a Black Friday sort of deal, or is it?
No, who knows? Maybe just, hey, we know it's been tough for everybody in the economy, and we want to help people afford the system. It's $50 cheaper. The GameStop will give you a refund, or Best Buy, and whatever. They could do it in a press release. They could do it in an Xbox Wire article. I put it this way: either way, they're going to drive sales, And I really believe that a ballsy move like this would be really just looking up to Sony and be like, you know what are you gonna do now? So Mag, I saved you for last because you are the most elaborate speaker, which of course we love. And I'm interested to know your point. Does the dollars and cents make sense for Microsoft to go ultra aggressive?
Absolutely. I think they will go all ultra aggressive. Now, I do have a quick question because you know what? Once in a while, I actually don't know everything for once. So I do have a question.
Nice.
But in all seriousness, I got a question about pre-orders. If I went into pre-order, can I pre-purchase the console in its entirety? Can I put all the money down right up front? Does anybody know the answer to that?
Thought I was thinking. You can.
So now you can. Okay. So when the hell would they do a price drop at like 3 in the morning? Are they going to drop like the Series S?
What happens with your money if they cut it, right? And then would you have to go back to GameStop or wherever?
Right.
You're
See,
at?
that's a logistical nightmare.
Is it store credit? That's the thing that's running through my head. That's what I'm
right
thinking.
now. That's a logistical nightmare to me. So you know what I think they're going to do now? The pre-orders launch at least Eastern Standard Time. I believe it's 11 a.m. What if they do the same thing as they did this morning with the whole Bethesda ZeniMax situation? What if you wake up to the news that they just went, oh, and by the way, $50 cheaper across the board?
That would be amazing.
See, that's what I'm thinking they might do. Now, however, I don't think they're going to drop the Series S. I don't think they're going to drop it at all. I think they're going to keep the Series S at $299, and that's staying that way because that's already a steal. Okay. Especially with what they're packing inside that thing. That's already, you're getting $150 off what it should have been already with what they got going on. Now, the Series X, which is the big boy, that's the one, the $499. I have a feeling they're going to drop that, and they've left that open, and we've heard those rumblings in the past.
Well, I mean, how weird was it the way that they worded? Because normally it's the manufacturing price, but they left it in a way where they could change it, suggest
ERP.
Exactly.
Yeah, that open-ended.
They left it open-ended on purpose, and I've heard rumblings. You've heard rumblings. We've all heard rumblings that Phil was given permission to drop the price if necessary. Was that not something we all heard in little whispers and corners? I heard that rumor from more than one person. Oh, of course, nobody wants to admit it now, do they?
Sweet baby Jesus.
You guys are my whisperers.
So, but anyways, in all seriousness, we all know what was going on. I think that they might actually do this tomorrow morning. If anything. So let's say you wake up at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and all of a sudden that, Major Nelson or Phil Spencer himself or Xbox themselves, whoever, are going to drop and say, good morning, everybody. Pre-orders are going live in just a few hours. And oh, by the way, $449.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you said wake up. Who the hell is sleeping? All right, you tell me who the hell is
serious.
serious.
Let's get serious. As soon as we we got stuff. We got stuff going on tonight.
Sure as hell ain't me. I ain't sleeping.
Well, listen, I'm going to say this, folks. I want to thank everybody. We had almost 700 people here, and if you match that with what we had on this afternoon show, that's 2,700 people in 2 shows. That's ridiculous numbers.
Well,
phenomenal, man.
I honestly cannot thank everybody enough for being here. Obviously, this is a dream come true for me. Being able to talk about video games, to hang out with this community. I built this show on the ground floor with community in mind, and you guys and gals have turned in unbelievable numbers for me personally, and the friendships that I have made doing this is just astounding. It really is to be thought about in this community in such a positive light. It really does make my day. So thank you so much for supporting Double Barrel Gaming. And obviously my wife and I, Mrs. Boomstick, will be offering up, my God, there's so many prizes coming in the next couple of months, besides the November prizes, which is going to include a Series X, a PlayStation 5 with Miles Morales, a DualSense, an Xbox Series X controller, and 10 games. We're doing a giveaway this Friday for Boom's birthday bash. We're giving $150 worth of prizes that includes Resident Evil 3 digital for the Xbox, both the multiplayer and single player, and also 4 gift cards, 1 winner per gift card. And of course, Christmas with Boom is going to be a monster show. I don't want to say what the prizes are. I'm working with some people behind the scenes to get a couple of big prizes for that. So yeah, it's just our way of saying thank you for not only all of the super chats that have come in, but the support that the channel has gotten. I mean, we're closing in on 6,000 subs, which is something I didn't even think I would. I didn't even think I was going to hit 5 by the end of the year, and we are cruising. So thank you so much for that. But let's get into the outros, and of course, we'll start with our regular panel members and Gaming Forte. We got to get you out of here because I'm sure you got to get up early like all of us to get on these lines, and I am praying, my God, the gaming gods, please do Boom a favor and get me online. Listen, I don't care if I got to wait online if I'm 8, but let me get a console either or. Gaming Forte, your channel not only is one of my personal favorites, but I think it's one of the personal favorites of the community at large because you're truthful and your information is always on point. Tell everyone about your outstanding YouTube channel and also what shows you're on, because quite frankly, there's a big list. And where could people follow you on social media?
Yeah, man, it's great, man. This is a great time to be a gamer, man. It's exhausting. This is exhausting, man.
It is exhausting. I'm exhausted. I want you to know that I am
truly exhausted after all this, just the fiasco last week and, wondering how this was going to play itself out. And overall, man, it's good to be a gamer, man. No matter what system that you love, just enjoy the hobby that you call yourself, what we play in. It's pretty crazy, but it's Gaming Forte everywhere. YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live. Hit me up if you want to play. Always a great time. I put up a video yesterday, well, actually this morning, going over a lot of the trade-in stuff, promotion stuff.
Amazing video, bro.
That's going on.
Fantastic video.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. But yeah, if you're looking to trade in at retail, it basically breaks down the prices of everything that you could trade in and what you'll get for your old systems. Check that video out. It's the last one I put up. And then on top of that, check us out on tomorrow afternoon. Myself and Slim Backslap. It's going to be live on my channel for episode 4 of the DPS podcast. Going to be definitely talking about all this stuff and how it's going to impact the industry going forward and how Microsoft has always been the forward thinker. People keep forgetting that, Xbox put the Ethernet cord on the back of the original Xbox before it was even a thing, and people gave them crap for it. And that's how Xbox Live was born. 2013, people told them that online wasn't going to be the best way for you to be able to connect with your friends, and we wanted to have an always online system. Now we have Game Pass where you're online with hundreds and hundreds of millions of friends every day. Microsoft's making these moves, man. So, if you don't like it, that's understandable, but just remember, it's all about the games, not about the companies in the end, and just play with the people you enjoy. Check us out on BRAP. And that's tomorrow. That's Wednesday at 9 p.m. And outside of that, man, you guys have a great week. And I always appreciate being here with you guys.
Well, we appreciate you being here. And obviously, you bring a lot to this panel. I would not want to do this show without you. So you being here is an honor for me personally. And of course, Mag, we got to get you out of here, brother, because you got to go chop down some trees to get online. So go ahead and tell everyone not only where they can find you on social media, not only where they can play and hang out with you on Xbox Live and potentially PlayStation, but what other podcasts are you on?
Oh, well, you can follow me at the Middle Age Game Guy. That's with a GY at the end on Twitter. On the Xbox side of things, you can follow me at all capitals, all one word, Dead Meat 1. That is DEDMEAT 1. And on the PlayStation side of things, all capitals once again, because I don't know how to be quiet. One word, I am the Mag. You can follow me there. And of course, you can find me right here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Primetime Gaming. And of course, every Tuesday night with our other panel member this evening, Mr. Noof Nukem and Titan Dragro for the crazy Gaming After Dark. That is Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It was a blast tonight. Everybody, I know we're not going to get any sleep, so good luck to everybody on the panel. Good luck to everybody on the chat. I hope you guys all get an Xbox Series X or S, and I look forward to be talking about it next week. Have a great night.
Show those receipts on Twitter. Put those receipts out there. Next up, we're gonna go with Cyberknock. Cyber, obviously, you and I close in perimeter. If you see you're Connecticut, I'm New Rochelle. I don't know which which GameStop you're going to go to. Don't tell anybody live on the air because you don't want anyone boxing you out, but hopefully you'll get one with your favorite brother. Tell everyone about your YouTube channel and your outstanding way that you deal and talk with the community on Twitter.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Boom. Again, congratulations on those amazing numbers, man. Well deserved. I can't wait for Friday. I will be on the chat listening in. So, chat, you guys have been awesome. Like Mag said, good luck to everyone out there who's trying to pre-order one. Hopefully, we can all potentially get one by the time these consoles actually drop one in November. But yeah, Cyberknock's everywhere. I'm mostly active on Twitter. I just did a reaction to the PlayStation show. So if you want to catch that, it was me, Tempest, Kine, who's here today, Dreadpool, and VJ. We just, pretty chill, lay back, discuss what we like, what we didn't like, and the aftermath of what happened. But yeah, guys, extremely excited. I can't wait. And hopefully, cross my fingers, I can get a pre-order in too as well. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good luck, everybody, indeed. And let's have clowns. Let's let you get out of here. I don't know whether or not you're going to go wait online or not, but hopefully you will be telling the tale, your pirate tale, of how you potentially stab someone in the back to get your hands on a Series X, just like because you are a pirate legend. Do me a favor, brother. Tell everyone about Four Guys with Quarters, which recently you've added VJ, which is also on my Xbox show weekly, which will be going live this Thursday, the Xbox Factor podcast. And also, where could people potentially reach out to you on social media?
Yeah, it's always awesome being here with this panel, Boom. And Noof, oh man, your voices are amazing. I am Kermit the Frog. I hope one day you could do that one, or Miss Piggy. But
that was pretty damn good.
Thank you. You can find me at Italian Clowns on Twitter, everywhere else. Four Guys with Quarters podcast on Tuesdays now at 5 p.m. Like you said, VJ's on the panel, Midway Monster. And this week we're having Predator H2O and K Mega on as guests. You can find me at Gaming Beyond the Box on Wednesdays with the Fork and Crew and Wilmy Hood, 8 p.m. Eastern. And 4GQ TV News with Flamish. And today we had Asa from Game On Daily, which is a very pro-positive news aggregation site on like N4G. And there's a lot of great Xbox news on there, as well as neutral news. And it's a very neutral community. There's no toxicity. It's really awesome. So I hope you guys get a chance to check that out as well. A lot of my posts go up there now.
Yeah, well, I mean, and obviously N4G not so good, but those other guys, Asa and those guys and the folks over there are fantastic, good people, positive place to put up your stuff and certainly be a part of the community. Noof Nukem, brother. Listen, first of all, I know you were under the weather, but you still thugged it out, and you're here with us almost 2.5 hours into the show. Thanks so much for being here, brother. Tell everyone not only about where they can potentially hang out with you on one of your Saturday game nights, but find you on social media, but also check out Gaming After Dark on Tuesdays.
That's right. Fantastic panel, fantastic chat. And we do have a special message from a galaxy far, far away. Oh, here he comes.
May the pre-order force be strong with you, it must. Hit the refresh button, you will.
I missed that one a little bit. Okay, but I'll work on it. Anyway,
Not
guys.
bad.
Yeah, I have. I'm not as good at that one, but sometimes I nail it, sometimes I don't. But anyway, I had a lot of fun, man. You guys can catch me tomorrow night with the mag, like you said, on Gaming After Dark. We will have Titan Drago, of course, and we have two guests, Juno's 23, and we have Cray Simmons coming out. So we're going to be chirping about this very same topic. So you guys will probably be tired of listening to us by then, but hey, we'll try to bring something new and fresh. And of course, we have our segments. Always a great podcast. There's always a lot of fun on this one, guys. Honor and a pleasure. Glad I could be here, and we'll see you guys all soon. You know where to find me, in the gutter, baby, at Noof Nukem.
Definitely appreciate that, brother. And last and no way least, Cotton, you knocked it out of the park once again. You brought the passion, you brought the sensibility to the show. Great to have you on. Tell everyone where they can hang out with you on Xbox Live or reach out to you on social media.
Appreciate it, dude. Yeah, I had a blast. Wouldn't have rather spent my night any other way than talking to you guys. This is an amazing time to be a gamer. Anytime I can talk with you guys, I'll take it. Been pretty busy here at the Ocho, The NHL finals are going on. Currently watching that game right now between Tampa Bay and Dallas. So I'm gonna wrap that up, and then probably head out to GameStop and see what's up with the line, see how many people are out there or not. It's kind of cold out here in Denver. Shouldn't be too
it's probably you're probably in the very low.
I got
40s.
27 people outside my store right now. I hear.
All right, well, I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna put
my best friend works at the Target. I work next to a Target. My best friend, he left at 10 o'clock, and he said when he left the store, it was like 27 people over there.
Oh boy,
my God!
Yeah, well, if there's 20 people out there, I might be able to make one. I live right next to the retail headquarters for the state of Colorado, so I think they had like 25 PS5s. That was crazy how many they had when I started reading online. How many people didn't
PlayStation committed upwards of 17 million systems for the year, and Xbox committed around 10 to 11.
Right. So yeah, I'm gonna head straight there. I'm leaving right now, actually. So no.
Good luck.
Good luck. Follow me on Twitter at CottonMcCast. Feel free to DM me. Contemplating if I want to trade in my Scorpio edition of the Xbox One X. So
yes, get rid of it.
Okay.
$200, you can't beat that.
All right. Well, I'm probably gonna do that.
It's probably gonna break in the next 2 months, anyways. Get rid of it.
All right. Well, that's an easy no-brainer. Like I said, great talking to you guys. I always listen to you guys, all of you everywhere. So you guys all kill it.
Awesome,
great numbers on your videos, Forte. Amazing stats on your live streams today. Boom.
Thank you, brother. Brent.
So everyone take it easy. Hope everyone gets that pre-order.
Yes, well, yes. Good luck with you, and you get out there. Make sure you dress warm because in Denver, Colorado, it is probably going to be snowing more sooner than later. Listen, folks, everyone, I want to thank everybody for being here. Again, we had almost 700 people in the live chat tonight. The super chats were freaking outrageous once again. Thank you for the outstanding generosity that continues to come in. It is honestly very humbling that people take the money from their own pockets to donate to Double Barrel Gaming because you're enjoying the content. And obviously, I am floored, each and every one, whether it be $1 or as much as you saw today, $100 from Master Clowns. It is tremendously appreciated. And I listen, folks, everyone, good luck. Be safe out there, man. Remember, don't get into fights with people. Get online, wait online. Hopefully, they're gonna have law enforcement so no one gets hurt, no one gets into any trouble, and everything does go smooth. And of course, I want to close out the show with something that's important to me. Hopefully, it's one day important to you, and that is treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, and I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. Good luck on your pre-orders, and we'll see you next week on the newest episode of Primetime Gaming with Mr. Boomstick and Friends.